in the last episode, you guys came out of the forest after a long journey. You arrived at the city of Barad Baisa, where you had a wonderful interaction with the two guards at the front gate. You guys went through the city, broke your bank to paint a terrible mustache on the statue, who everyone thought was Sir Francis. You guys then continued on to go into the Singing Swallow Tavern, where you guys put on quite a display for everyone, and won the heart of Sir Francis, who showered you in wealth during your betting game. You guys went to bed after that, and woke up the next morning, probably meeting sometime downstairs in the morning.
Really? Construction work now?
Is that... That's...
That was the perfect time.
That is... Yeah, and the weed whacker is outside my house, too. I can hear, like...
They were waiting. They were just waiting. Are you kidding me? It is 5 p.m. and they're still fucking... Go home! Oh my...
I suppose we'll have to deal with that. You know, there's so as you guys come downstairs, you can hear that there's a lot of construction work and lawn mowing going around town. If you know, when you're talking, perhaps sometimes it's a little bit hard to hear each other due to the loud noises around you, but the two of you can certainly make do.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but like, out of character, I just expect half the session to be like, I said that we're looking for something. What?
A perfectly fine upscale inn. The Singing Swallow will wake you up with construction noises.
Yeah.
And no one complains about it.
Oh my God.
Are we still planning on finding? Is his name Franchester Badul? Is that how you pronounce it?
I have no idea.
It's Franchester. This is your NPC. It's Franchester Ilavid Badul.
Oh, I thought he was asking in character, so I was like, oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, and
Is
now
that
they're
really how you
shouting.
pronounce it? A strange name.
Alright, there. So the keyboard, yeah.
Yeah, you guys talked to the bartender Serena about this individual last night as well, who she told you that this was a well-known kind of lieutenant who was working on kind of overseeing the construction of a statue in the park.
Yeah, I know it's weird to head down Main Street, but is there any specific mention of a park?
Maybe you want to turn on push to talk, by the way, Gerald.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Are there multiple parks? And,
there's one main park. You guys kind of asked for instructions last time, and she kind of explained to you how it was at the intersection between the upper ring, the hill, and downtown. And that if you just kept walking towards the hill, you wouldn't be able to miss it.
All right. But they're having construction at the statue of the king. This is perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I suppose we'd be finishing up breakfast, and Judea would be floating the idea of hurrying there, in spite of insisting on not having a plan.
You're
Yeah,
muted.
you're muted.
Do you have push to talk on, though?
So, yes, I have
Okay.
it on. It just took a while to figure out how this all works. This is fun. I'm fine. I'm not angry.
It's all good, you know. You have the hand we're dealt.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have my finger on the P, but that would sound wrong because I'm then push the talk button.
Nice.
Perfect.
Got my finger on that P.
All right, so
Okay.
you guys just finished up
Yeah.
eating breakfast.
So, how did you sleep, Yadi? I had probably one of the worst nights ever because of those god-blessed construction crew that decided to show up out of nowhere.
Yes, well, you see, I was sleeping quite nearby, so my experiences were rather the same.
Yeah.
In any case, I wanted to ask you about something. You told me that this demonologist of yours, he was a haggard man. A bum of sorts.
Well,
Are you
that's
sure
what-
we're dealing with the same person?
Well, either the information that is given about the man is false, meaning either A, he gave the false information to people, or, excuse me for a moment, as there is a construction crew going around right next to us.
I'm imagining we're just walking
Yeah,
to the...
you guys are currently
the
walking, and
park.
you guys it's just interrupted from kind of like some like goblins putting together some random little building. That's the sound of their magic tools, by the way.
I have to get me one of those. They seem fun.
I hate them. I hate everything about them.
As you're saying this, one of the goblins kind of comes by in like this magic little tractor pushing a bunch of stuff down the street, and it looks at you and goes,
As you look at you, do you see? They're doing it on purpose.
He's like,
Do you think I should take a look at him carefully and then maybe go paint mustaches on statues as it? I think he deserves it.
You know, I think they deserve a bit more than just a bit of a prank at this point. I think the entire town wants them dead.
All right. But rather than killing them now, I think we ought to bide our time with them.
Of course, this is the one thing. Yes, certainly. Anyways, shall we get going? Though I am a bit concerned since the construction goblins seem to be following us.
Well, I don't think they matter too much. Are we going to openly ask for Badul or no?
That might be one of the smarter things to do. Other than that, it really depends. We're not really well known, so in the worst case, you know, we just say, oh, we just want to have a word with you. You know, since demonology...
About what?
We would just have a word. We have, I don't know, we want to construct a statue.
You're thinking too large. No one will believe that. We're tourists and we want to know about this new statue.
Oh, yes, and why not ask the man who made it himself?
True.
So
All right.
we're going to meet Badu by simply just asking, oh, can you tell us about the statue? Should we wear dresses for this?
You don't think he's a goblin, is he?
I really hope not. If not, my line might switch for a couple of seconds for certain deeds.
I've never heard of a goblin with a name like Franchester.
I hope that we never meet one named that. Actually, I would hate that goblin. You know, I haven't told you this, but I really have a strong hatred for goblins. Especially construction goblins.
You'd like my family.
Hopefully they'll be done by next week or something.
Hopefully. If not, I will have to find drastic measures. And as he says that, he is like glaring at the goblin next to him.
You've walked past the goblin. The goblins are off kind of using their magic drill devices to put kind of new boards into place and make the buildings look kind of a bit nicer.
You sure? Because I still hear him.
The goblin in the
there's somebody in
tractor
charge.
is not with you guys anymore. What'd you say?
Does it look like there's somebody obviously in charge or like a foreman of some sort?
You got so as you guys kind of get to the park area, you walk down the streets, kind of emerging from the kind of edges of the downtown area, and going more into the downtown is kind of centered in this main area, and as you get further away from downtown, it becomes more like kind of housing related. And as you approach this kind of park area, the houses are getting like nicer and nicer, and you can see this kind of very large square intersection between a bridge that heads up. So there's kind of this cliff face at the edge of the downtown area, facing the large volcano that the city is built at the base of, and raised upon this cliff is the actual kind of upper ring with this great golden wall around it, and enormous golden spires kind of reaching out into the sky. And there's a bridge that heads up to that, and that's connected to the park. And on the other side of the park, facing this other way, is a slightly elevated area, kind of a bit of a hill, covered in very expensive looking houses for the wealthy. But the park itself, there's an entrance facing you guys that you guys kind of walk through. There's kind of like smaller statues of dragonborns on each side of it. There's kind of a stone wall going around the edges of it. There's kind of trees planted around the corners and paths moving through it. And at the very center, there's a large kind of patch of stone where you see a very kind of well-built elderly man in studded leather armor. He has long gray hair kept in a braid that goes down to his shoulders. A long sword is sheathed on one hip, and a whip is coiled on the other. And he's currently overseeing several dragonborn along with a couple other soldiers who are kind of in slave garments, moving stones around, kind of slowly putting the statue together.
A quick note, I sacrificed my own well-being of dying in heat by closing the window and everything like that.
Wow.
So I will melt, but there is no sound.
Alright.
But yeah, anyways. Well, this certainly is impressive, to say the least.
Do we feel like the raised area with houses for the wealthy, would that be the hill?
Yes.
Okay.
You get a hunch that is what people refer to when they say the hill.
Okay, I figured as much. Would we just approach the man?
Yeah,
Should we?
I think it might be the smartest thing. We certainly do. I guess our clothings are actually quite, like, out of character. I guess our clothings are really nice, right?
Your clothing?
Mine certainly are.
Yeah, like, our clothing in general.
I mean, you would know. It's your character.
No. Yeah, so, well, our clothing certainly seems to fit this place, so we could just ask. We don't really seem to be catching too much attention yet.
All right. Well, he is your man. I think you ought to take the lead in this one.
Oh, certainly, certainly. One question, though, while we're walking there.
All right.
Do you think I should one day buy that house? And he points at, like, one of the nicer houses, just like, I don't know. I don't really see myself living in a pink house.
I don't really see you living in a house permanently.
Well, yeah, that's going to be true.
You don't seem the type, if I'm honest.
Well, still, just think of it as summer home, something. I don't know. One of those vacation homes, you know?
Yes. I don't think that's still for you.
Well, that's fair. Anyways, let's get going before our man takes his coffee break or whatever he does, demon break.
Demon break.
And yeah, we head towards the man as soon as we can find him.
He
But is he the well, I suppose we would approach the man in the studded leather armor.
he turns around as you approach him and he's like, "Hello?"
Oh, hello there. We're looking for a certain gentleman, if you may.
Yes.
I have to look at the Google Docs thing because I really don't want to mess up the pronunciation.
Jadir Kazrain, it's a pleasure to meet you.
We're looking for Franchester Badul.
Lieutenant Badul, if you will. And he kind of reaches out to shake Jadir's hand. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Wait, are you Lieutenant or...
Yes.
Are you Lieutenant Badul? Oh! Well, the descriptions don't fit you.
What description?
And it kind of looks like a notebook that he, like, every now and then carries around.
Are you with the military?
Well, no, we are not. We are actually tourists, but we were actually trying to look for you as well. You see, your entire reason for coming here, actually. So, anyways, first of all, I would love for you to tell me about the whole statue thing, since you seem to be the most, the one in charge of that. And secondly, do you happen to fiddle with, and he kind of like, just kind of makes hand gestures, demonology?
So,
Jadir.
as you like, tell me about the statue, he begins to go off, like, while you're talking, kind of like, well, you see, the great King Audemars is being constructed as that, and then you're like, and demonology, and you're like, what? He kind of like, stops and like, excuse me?
And he's like, oh, the note said that, well, the person that I got the information said that would be your specialty. And, well, a hobby, I don't know. Do you have any other hobbies? And kind of looks at him.
I think you're mistaken.
Well, if I am well, does he look old?
Yeah, he looks pretty old.
Well, the one thing that got correct on the note is, well, that would be rude for me to say. But yes, you certainly don't fit fully of the description.
Hey, get back to work! And he takes out his whip, and one of the Dragonborn, who's kind of like taking a quick rest break, he with a quick slash, he whips it across the Dragonborn's back, who kind of cries out, and quickly picks up the stone and continues moving towards the statue. Sorry about that.
And he kind of looks at it and just goes, maybe. He kind of looks at Jadir, fingering, because I'm assuming Jadir can see the notes, but fingering at the text saying crazy. Maybe that one? No. Well, yes. Anyways, if we are mistaken, do you know any other Bodul in this?
As far as I'm aware, I'm the only one. Where did this information come from? I find it quite troubling. I do not want to be associated with crazy demonologists.
Well, they might be crazy, but certainly... Well, no, actually, they're just crazy. And he kind of like goes, well, you see, this is a bit of a troublesome thing, because I got it from a man, that got it from another man, that got it from another man. I just got curious, and I decided, oh, I would love to meet this infamous man that apparently has so many tales about, well, you know.
I'm not sure if I can help you with that.
Oh, that is a real shame. And he kind of like looks around.
Gerald, and Jadir kind of leans in closer. It's like, are you sure we should press the man?
And he kind of leans over.
He might not be very forthcoming about this information.
And he's like, well, I might always perform for him. What do you say about that? Actually, you know what?
I don't think that he would be the one to... never mind.
We started this in a very awkward situation. Well, you know, me getting the information wrong. I do sincerely apologize. How about I make it up to you with a little jitty? How does that feel? It'll only take a minute of your time. Plus, it might even help them, all the workers around, be a bit more efficient in their work, seeing that you're having to use that dreadful thing a little bit too often. Would give your wrist a bit of a break.
Sure.
All right. Now I have to open the thing. The fact that he was completely fine with that still baffles me. I'm just trying to find. There it is.
As Gerald is kind of fiddling with his things, getting it ready to go with that, Jadir sort of huddled around him, questions him a little bit. Do you know what you're doing?
Well, remember that tavern trick?
All right, but before we go in on that, should we be more forthright about this, or try to mask our mishap?
Well, see, here's the thing. If it doesn't work, I'll let you take the lead. If it does work, well, we'll see. All right? Sound good?
Right. Of course.
And, yeah. So, he kind of like sings and kind of like dances around. Once again, didn't really have that planned.
No worries.
But, I guess you would want me to roll performance.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that's a 13 plus 7, so 20.
Okay. And is this your thingy with the charming, or are you just?
This is the thing. The performance is for the flavor, but I really.
Go on. The goblins are at it.
But yeah, I just have to perform for a minute, and no matter how I perform, and then it works. But the performance is more disguising it that I'm actually performing.
Okay. So are you just trying to put on a show for him? And
Yeah, I'm just generally putting like a little.
All right, so you kind of pull out your instrument and you're kind of jamming out, hopping around into a real dance. And at first he seems entirely unamused, just kind of looking at you very, very plainly. Jadir, make a perception check.
All right. 7.
7. And also, yeah, I would have both of you guys make perceptions.
Really? 20? That's a really good performance. Man, tough crowd. Perception, there it is. 15.
Okay, so
14.
Jadir, you kind of get lost in the music and kind of wander off, but you, being very focused on your performance and used to taking a good look at the crowd around you, you notice something change in his face as you perform, and his face kind of gets like scrunched up, and then his eyes kind of open up wide again, and he lets out a big smile that seems out of character for who you've talked to so far, and maybe you want to, yeah. And he suddenly kind of like, very strange kind of facial expressions and breathing, and he's like, and then kind of at some point as the song is coming to a close, he kind of shakes his head a little bit. He's like, that was very good. I must get back to my work now.
Well, now that we've been a bit of acquainted with a little ditty and stuff like that, how do you say that me and you and him have a little chat later on over maybe at the Red Swallow or something like that? Just have a little conversation. We are quite new to this city, as you see.
I appreciate the offer, but I must decline. I'm quite busy with my work and, things that I need to do.
The fact that it didn't even have to roll concerns me. And
Gerald,
he's like,
are you sure you want to waste our time with this?
and he kind of looks, well, he seems dreadfully busy, and so do the goblins, and, we'll just have a little bit of a look around, and maybe we'll do a little circle and end up here to have a good look at the statues and other such things. But anyways, plus we have to get a drink, don't we, Jadir? But we didn't really...
It's 8 in the morning.
I'm an early drinker, what can I say?
Wow.
And he's just like, gets going, and he's like, anyways, follow me, Jadir. And
I think Jadir's kind of left blindsided by this, kind of just going back and forth between Gerald and the man in front of him. All right, it was a pleasure meeting you.
You as
Perhaps
well.
we'll see it at another lifetime.
Perhaps.
And as soon as Jadir actually comes, he's like, he's a man, he did go a little crazy. Also, I was trying to use it as an excuse. Really? You take me for an early drinker? Oh.
Well, you were very keen on getting a drink earlier. I
It's
wouldn't
called
know.
performance. He kind of points at him.
You are very convincing, all right? But sometimes it's hard to tell.
And it's like,
I'm good at doing the job, not recognizing it, all right?
and he kind of looks, well, that's certainly something that both of us need to get good at, as I know better than you. So anyways, so he did a little bit of a crazy janky thing while I was performing. Definitely caught me off guard. Do you think there's anything in this world of two personality things? I've seen a couple of things like that in the circus. Well, meet the freaks and other such things, but it seems a bit bizarre that a lieutenant has that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And it's like, you really need to go out more.
I agree. It's been a thing for me lately. Yes.
But anyways, I think that he's a man. I just either think, A, that he's himself not aware of it, or B, well, that would be the more troubling thing. They did say he is a very well-known demonologist, and I do know possessions are a thing. Because
all right.
the charm did not seem to work, at least. Like, not even a flinch.
All right, so what's your plan? Do we poke and prod and try to make him uncomfortable? Or we try to get him secluded? What's wrong? Is the park not a good location?
I've no... To be fair, we could always do things in the... Well, do you know the tactic bag 'em and run? And it kind of looks at it. The clowns used to do that.
I've heard of that. Yeah. I don't think that's a good one here. We could mess with him and see what he does.
Well, you're a man of many faces, it would seem, so, to be fair, you could always go around, meet him as different people, and just have a little poke there and there. Also, fun little thing. If this is truly a possession, how will we know if the man himself is either sane or if we're speaking to quote-unquote the possessed one? And if it's a split personality thing, well, the freaky thing, well, then we're in even of the deeper shit, if you may, because that's a bit unpredictable.
I'm in favor of prodding him a little bit.
Well, then it seems to be your specialty. I'm a bit better at getting the attention rather than avoiding it, ironically.
All right.
So,
what I propose is hiding ourselves from him and messaging him over and over again, giving him off these dissonant whispers or something, seeing how he reacts.
As you said, Gerald kind of looks messaging. Do I know any such things as I know. Okay, so I do know a couple of spells. Just so you're aware. And yes, I can cast spells. I'm not just a fancy dancing monkey, as people...
No, I have noticed.
Oh, well, excellent. So, I can charm a person. It usually ends badly at the end of that. I also have a little trick called Friends, but that's usually a bad move if you want them to like you. I have calm emotions and suggestions. I have a couple of other ones, but they're mostly just to keep me alive.
Well, I thought I'd be a little bit more direct. I thought about sending him these whispers or perhaps conjuring images of demonic scrawlings and such.
Well, then that would be your specialty. And, my dear friend, I have no such capability, sadly. It's mostly charming the crowd or the enemy. Both honestly works. Does make it very dangerous to travel, though. I do have slight tricks to heal wounds, but other than that, it's quite out of my repertoire, if you say. Repertoire. Yeah, whatever that word is.
What are the kind of, people that were working along the perimeters of where the man was located?
The park? So in the center of the park? Are you asking me?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
in the center of the park, he's kind of overseeing, or the main overseer of the construction of the statue, which kind of very slowly being put into place by the Dragonborn slaves. There's probably like 4 or 5 other members of the military. Obviously beneath him, he's definitely the head of that area. Kind of just soldiers, kind of maybe one of them is going around the perimeter, but most of them are focused on making sure that the slaves are doing as they're told.
All right. Would it be possible for a slave to join them, or are they completely in the open? Do I have any way to slink among them?
Well, it is there's like trees around there. It would be a bit tricky to sneak in, but analyzing the situation, it's possible.
I don't trust myself enough to get close. All right. I want to try to sort of hang back and cast a message
Okay.
at the man. And I want to whisper at him in Infernal.
Okay.
And I want it to be ominous, something along the lines of like, the Dark Ones are rising. They are coming.
All right.
Repeatedly at him.
Okay.
Sacrifice the slaves.
So where are you guys kind of hanging out right now while you're doing this message?
I kind of want to be as far away from him as possible. So like 120 feet away,
Right.
tucked away behind a tree.
Okay.
I'm just looking at like shopping windows while he's doing this, just like. Oh.
All right, so Gerald's wandering around doing fuck all, and you're kind of hiding behind this tree.
Whispering.
The Dark Ones are coming.
Every now and then, Gerald just gonna look behind you. Okay, buddy.
And you see him kind of stop dead in his tracks, just like in the middle of like kind of like in a motion to do something. You're like, you hear a reply who said that?
There are enemies around.
And you see him, he's like holding his head. I believe the way message works, you can only say one thing at a time. You can only send one message at a time, and he can send one reply. I believe. Is that correct?
I would, yeah. But I would wait for the reply, or if he doesn't reply, would message it back.
Okay.
You're so mean.
All right. So what are you saying?
There are enemies around you.
And he's like holding his head, like you see one like, sir, are you okay? And he looks like, yes, I'm fine. He's like,
He wants to hurt you.
and you see him kind of stumbling back off like this pedestal he's standing on, like on all fours, just like in crab walk position, and he's like, I'm feeling sick, and then he kind of shakes his head. He's like, I really must be going, gentlemen. I'm having a migraine. And he stands up and he runs off towards the hill.
Gerald kind of looks at this and just goes, "You? What?"
It's quit standing around. Let's go. The man is getting away.
As he follows Jerry, he's like, "You're going to have to teach me that one."
I'll try. All right. While we're jogging.
Okay, maybe not while we're jogging. Oh, he just turned a corner.
Yeah. So you guys are. He's kind of, yeah. He's definitely running. Are you guys running after him?
Yes.
All right, so you guys are running. You move out of the park. So this is in the opposite direction of downtown. So you guys are kind of going up into this upper hilly area. You're just surrounded by very wealthy houses, beautiful construction. This is where was definitely very dragonborn in nature. These are clearly the wealthier of the constructions of the dragonborn of the original city of Barad Baisa. And has been definitely overtaken by kind of the nobles of Cassia. And as you kind of go through, you can making your way through kind of like gardens and just very well-made paths. You eventually you're kind of running after this guy, and you see him kind of disappear into he kind of fumbling at the door handle, kind of clutching his head, and then kind of standing up straight. Taking a deep breath, shaking his head, he opens the door to this kind of like very well-off house and shuts it behind him.
Gerald kind of looks at Jadir and just for good measure, can you do that one more time?
Maybe, but do we want to spook him off even more?
Oh, no, you could be like, oh, the messengers are here to meet you, da-da-da. You know, make it seem like, you know, or that might make him attack us. But it is suspicious that he ran.
I say we hold off on it. Let's see if we can approach the house and see what he's doing without alerting him.
And then you're like, all right, how good are you at sneaking? Because I am not the best.
Away from maids? Quite good. I think. Maybe they just let me go. I don't really know. I've never asked. And Jadir kind of shrugs.
I can be fairly stealthy if you ignore all the stuff on me. Should I try to go and check her?
Look, let's just go. Maybe.
You know what? In this case, you lead the way. I'll just follow.
And Jadir will like nonchalantly try to walk up, but with a brisk pace. Still trying to muffle his footfalls.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll stealth because it's like he's inside, so it's not super loud. But
all right, I kind of want to see if there's windows that I can peek through, or figure out where he's at.
Okay. Yeah. You, as you're approaching the house, you can get a quick glance through the window. You see him kind of sitting down on this chair in the main area, kind of gathering himself. And when you look up, you see just a different resting expression on the face of the man, other than the man that you met. And he pulls back the rug in the middle, revealing a trap door that he opens up and goes down inside of.
I'm just gonna behind him, like, what do you see?
All right, I see this happen. Like him opening up the.
Yes.
All right. Could I use mold earth to shut the thing? To mold the stone so that it kind of collapses on the.
Sure. Yeah. Wait. Let me take a quick look. Mold earth.
Oh no, poor guy.
Yeah, sure. You wanna shut the trap door while he's trying.
Yeah, I kind of want the trap door opens and the stone can just collapses in on itself and shuts the entryway.
Like, are you trying to cave in the entrance to whatever's down there?
Not the cave in, just to it's like form a barrier to it. Just
okay.
To like make a roof of it.
Okay. So you kind of muttering under your breath, moving your hands around. You see inside, as he lifts up the trap door, a stone wall kind of comes out of the earth and shuts the side off, and he kind of falls back. It's like you hear a cry from inside. Ah! And he kind of crawls forward and he starts like hitting the top of the trap door.
Gerald, somebody is in danger. We must go help them at once. Jadir will run to the door and try to open it.
All right, it is locked.
Can I try to burst my way through?
Sure, make an athletics check.
This is my forte.
You know,
18!
18! So this kind of scrawny little tiefling walks up to the front door, and after just completely fucking with this guy, you in one fell kick you break the door, this expensive like mahogany door, off of its hinges, just like cracking it all over, and the door swings open, slamming into the side of the wall, revealing the terrifying figure of Jadir.
Fear not, I've come to help.
Who are you?
What's going on? We heard shouting.
Gerald kind of peeks through. Oh, good, he's alive.
Stand back! And he's not doing anything. He's just like kind of holding his hands out.
And he's like, oh, this is a bit of a troublesome.
What's wrong, sir?
Nothing's wrong here. It seems like it looks like he's trying to impersonate. It sounds like an imperfect impersonation of the voice that you met while at the statue construction site.
All right.
Oh, so anyways, you wouldn't know where our dear friend Badul is, would you? And he says that with a smile.
I am Franchester Badul.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yes, I am quite certain. Please leave my house.
Because that scream there.
I am a high-ranking lieutenant in the military, and I command you to leave.
Well, see, here's the problem. If you were Badul, he wouldn't say that. I'm dreadfully sorry, but I feel like you're someone else.
Who are you, my dad?
Oh, perhaps I am. I can be anything. I could be... and he's just like, he's fucking with the guy's point. He's just confusing him. He's like, I could be your dad. You never know.
What do you want?
Oh! Information. Something that you seem to have a lot of. According to, and yes, I must say, watching you run like that, it definitely started to fit the description a lot more. Seems like our dear...
You sent me that message. You're just completely breaking that voice.
Me? No, I would never send such a message. I don't even know.
You did, didn't you?
Jadir's kind of weirded out by this. It leans in towards Gerald. It's like, are you his father?
And he's like, what do you think, genius?
I don't know. This is very weird.
And it's like, look, if I could send you that message, I would not have bothered walking up to you to talk to you in the first place. Because, let's be honest, they're slaves. You need to give them a bath.
Sure.
So anyways, information, our dear most infamous demonologist Badul.
He kind of looks down at the ground beneath him, and then looks up at you. So I'm sure one of you definitely sent me that message, but did one of you do this? I'm confused.
And he's like, do I look like the type that can mold the earth like that? Looking at like fully entertainment garments. Kind of like, do I really look like I know anything about the elements?
Was it you then?
He just kind of...
He kind of looking at Jadir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you please undo that, please?
He did say...
Can we have a talk? And I'll do that, yes.
Close the door.
The door's off its hinges at this point, so we just can't set it back there.
Fix it, please. So you poorly try and set the door back right, and you end up just kind of leaning it against the kind of top wall of the door, creating a very bad kind of seal. And he's like, all right, who sent you?
Oh, well, so, no one, actually. You see, my hobby is demonology. Side hobby. Main hobby, performing. And I have a couple of questions for you, and he has a couple of questions for you as well, regarding our current conditions.
Well, you came at a bad time. You can't just come up to me when I'm in the middle of construction.
Well, would
He
you
doesn't-
rather we... And kind of like looks at him, like, would you rather we would have showed up during the night, knocking on your door? Hello, Mr. Bedell. We want to learn about demons.
Well, yes, that's when I come out.
No, everybody expects that, though.
Exactly.
Wait, are you saying that you would want... Okay, your logic of hiding...
You don't know. I'm not here all the time.
So, quick question. Is this possession or is this the dual personality we've seen in the circus?
You could describe it as dual personality. It's something a bit more complicated, though. You see, Lieutenant Badul doesn't know that I'm here, but I know that he's here, and I can only come out sometimes. Yeah, your interruption was quite provocative.
Oh, don't worry. I can always just tell him something else happened.
I don't know how he's going to be able to explain waking up in the middle of his apartment, house, after, the last thing he remembers is working.
That's where I can come in. You see, I am...
He had a migraine?
Yeah, he had a migraine. And he half passed out, and then very helpful two fellows found him on the street just after having talked to him, took him to his house after asking a random guard. And after that, we made sure he was fine.
All right. So what are you here for?
If we need... So let's start with Judea here, who has a very peculiar condition, if you believe so.
I don't really know how to describe it. I was once given an object and it entered into me. I'd like it out, please.
Huh.
I think you're going to have to be a bit more... Well,
Well, I was young, but I was given a purple shard of sorts.
Uh-huh.
The person who gave it to me was wearing gloves, and I touched it. Was made to touch it.
A purple shard that you touched. Kind of nodding his head facetiously.
It's like... Judea,
Right.
I think you need to explain it a bit better, buddy.
Look, I really can't, though. It entered into me. It traced my veins on my arm, and I saw my heart glowing, and then it was gone.
Huh. Interesting. I could perhaps take a closer look at you.
Not inside me, though.
Perhaps, we could work something out. My services are not cheap.
That we understand.
Now, before we talk business, what is it that all of you want? It sounds like you each have different, desires.
Oh, well, Ooh, this is a tough situation. Well, you see, okay, Strange question. Very strange, but I just want to see if the greatest demon on the mortal realms knows this one. Is there a way to, well, let's say, a devil, take them out of the nine hells and make them no longer part of the nine hells?
Sure.
But still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Oh. Well, at least I know it's possible.
I've even
That's
done it
wonderful.
before.
Oh. And it's permanent. It doesn't kill them. They're still alive, and they...
If you do it right, it's not an easy task.
Yes. I do have another question. Regarding to a strange old man. I don't know if I should be showing this object. That is the concerning part.
No, just
I've
let
been keeping it very well hidden. And he kind of like a muffles it. And I'm just going to flavor into this. And I think Jajir will notice that he opens his bag, which he is often seen, something like that. And then he like literally have to like open a hidden thing where there's a jester mask laying inside, like in a hidden compartment in a bag.
Do you pull it out?
I pull it out and I'm like, so a strange old man gave me this.
A mask. Oh my! A mask of Jester Tagal. Unbelievable! And he kind of drops his kind of business attitude, and he comes kind of walking towards you, strangely.
Ooh.
He's like, "Can I touch it?"
You can touch it, but you can't keep it.
Oh, of course. And he gently tries and take it out of your hands. And he's kind of like holding it up and looking at it. He's like, looks at you and he's like, do you know what this is?
No idea. So, to explain how I got this into my section, I used to be at the circus before a certain incident happened that led me to have to escape my village. And in that situation, I feel like Jabir.
I missed the last part.
Yeah.
Well, what did you miss?
It's just like the last couple seconds.
Oh. But yeah, I feel like Jajir, I said, is like first out finding this now. Like finding it out now. And he's like, so when I joined the circus after learning a couple spells from an Ent, really nice fella. Well, I started asking around about the nine hells. Well, I didn't know it was the nine hells. I started asking about devils and other such things, which didn't go too well until I learned a bit more. And during my travels, we got a strange mystic that joined thing. Didn't talk much, the strange fella, but was very good at his craft. The concerning part is, he gave me this mask after explaining a couple of things to me. Well, I say gave. We had a talk about devils and other such things, and he's the reason why I know so much, well, so far, so much about the nine hells without having met a devil, or, well, I have met a devil, but having met, like, gone there myself. And time flew by, and it felt like a very long time. And then I woke up on the ground with a mask. Note that I've never put the mask on.
Interesting.
I don't know why the old man would give me a creepy mask.
Well.
And it's very unsettling to look at. And uncomfortable.
Well, I don't think so. And he looks at it, taking like in all the intricate details of the mask. And he's like, this is a mask of Jester Tagal. Now, do you know about Jester Tagal?
And he kind of looks, been a bit focused on trying to get a devil out of hell, but do go on.
Jester Tagal was a once beloved jester of the old King Bartholomew of Ageria. Tagal was the greatest showman in all the land, with the tongue of Erebus and the wit of Arazin. His performance skills were so legendary that he caught the attention of the Grand Devil himself, Asmodeus. Asmodeus sent his most persuasive succubus to coax Tagal into serving him rather than King Bartholomew. But in that battle of tongues, Tagal outsmarted the succubus and beat it at its own game, tricking the succubus into creating a contract that, through an unforeseen loophole, gave Tagal the power to set off a chain reaction, creating a case that rose to the highest court in all of the 9 hells. Forced to uphold the contract to the letter, the courts granted Tagal the power of an archdevil. Outraged, Asmodeus banished Tagal from the 9 hells. Who knows where he lies now?
He kind of looks at Jadir and goes like, okay, I swear to God, I did not know this was...
Things got really fast, really quickly there.
Yes, certainly did. So... Quick question, is it just a mask?
Well, as far as I can see, it certainly has magical properties to it, but it's not like I can just discern them.
Oh, thank God, because I learned about...
You're muted again.
Oh. What?
Or, I don't know. You cut out. Just, what were you going to say?
And it's like, oh, thank God, because I thought if I put that thing on my face...
It's happening again. What? Am I the only one who can...
No. It's Dan's mic. I think your threshold for picking up is set fairly low.
That shouldn't be...
You should kind of lower it, just so Discord doesn't, like, cut you off so much.
let me tell... Seems to be working completely fine.
Go to your user settings.
All right.
Then voice and video.
Yeah.
And then where it says automatically determine input sensitivity, make sure that's toggled off, and then you can slide the bar to the left.
Is this going to be... It's going to allow me to, like, allow you guys to hear a lot around me, but the construction work is gone. But yeah.
Should be fine.
So yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, because I had it on automatic. This is the first time it does that. But to be fair, I just recently updated it. But yeah. Anyways, so it's just a mask. I honestly thought if I put it on my face, it would just, well, like a cursed object, eat off my face.
Well, I can't honestly be sure. Do you want to put it on? And he kind of, like, excitedly, sits up.
Will this help you understand what it is?
Of course!
And he's like, Jadir, if I die, kill him.
Well, you could die, I mean...
Are you certain of this, Gerald?
Okay, let me put it this way. I have dedicated my entire life in finding out information. If this brings me closer to it, it is a bit concerning.
All right.
He, Franchester's kind of, like, excitedly anticipating you putting on the mask.
And wait, before he does it, he's like, one condition, though, because I am technically might be putting my life at stake here.
Oh, most definitely.
This will be a part of the price.
No!
Well, I am putting my life at the risk here, and you will be learning a lot from it. If I die, I've completely lost.
Well, I won't learn that much from it.
And he's like saying,
I will factor it in.
That is all I wished for. And he's like, Jadir,
he's like licking his lips at this point.
And he's like,
right. one brief moment.
All right. And he's like closing his eyes, like holding it, like.
Does Jadir feel like this is sickly glee over like causing torment on others, or is he
does not. He is. It's not sadistic in nature. Roll an insight.
I feel like this is curiosity, being that he's the greatest demonologist.
18.
18. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be sadistic in nature. He just seems to be morbidly curious and excited.
Well, seems like an honest man.
And he's like, Judea, you know what I said, and also it turns me hideously ugly. You are welcome to kill me.
All right, that doesn't leave... Well, that leaves quite a lot of... up to interpretation. Should I or should I not? And what do you consider hideously ugly?
Oh, let me put it this way. And he kind of like looks at like, actually, oh, wait, no. Have you ever seen, what's it called? There's these very big demon devil things. I didn't really listen too hard. They're one of the more hired demons, if you may. Hold a big old whip, can fly, breathe fire.
No.
Something. And he kind of looks at the old man. Do you know what it's called?
You'll have to be a bit more specific.
Balrog? No, that's something else. Or is it a Balrog?
I think you're in the wrong universe.
Yeah. Sorry. What are they called again?
Are you like a pit fiend?
No, they're called something else. But anyways, he's like one of those ugly demon things.
Yes. The only ugly demon thing.
Well, let's be fair, most of them are. Anyways, besides the point, and none may pass, and he just like, wish me luck, and like puts it on his face.
And with that, I'm gonna take a potty break.
Oh my
It's a battle
god.
rock, I swear.
Gerald, holding this mask in your hand, you slowly lift it up to your face and make the final plunge as you place your face into the mask. Everything goes black suddenly, and you you see yourself flying up out of your own body, and then you are just flying forward at the speed of light. The entire world is a blur around you. You have no idea how far you've traveled, but then you are gazing upon this red pagoda tower reaching up into the sky, probably about 300 feet tall. And at the it's on this rocky range of mountains with cherry blossoms and kind of these twisting large trees. And at the very top of this pagoda, there is an open area at the very top, and you see a fully black and white colored jester, almost as if you are looking at him through a kind of monochromatic lens. But the entire rest of the world is color, and he's sitting cross-legged at the very top of this pagoda. And you can see him open his eyes, and his eyes are just this suddenly they're just flashing this great red, which just kind of streaks out like headlights, blinding you. And you can see a full moon coming down through the sky in a single beam, striking him directly in the face. And you also see that his face, he is wearing a type of mask that is identical to the mask that you've put on. And with that flash of light, everything returns to blackness. Gerald, you drop to 0 HP and are unconscious. Make a death saving throw.
I was correct about one thing, and he tried to kill me. Because I had a speculation, either it does nothing or it tries to kill me. Oh my lord. Okay, so that's just a D20. Let's see.
I believe you add your Constitution modifier to death saving throws. Is that?
No, I don't think you do. I think it's just a straight D20.
Yeah, it is a straight D20.
Okay, and it's a 11 or higher to pass, or is it a 10 or higher?
It's 10 or higher.
10 or higher. Okay.
I rolled. Okay. I was going to use Google to roll this. 1D20. It's like 1D20.
You don't have any IRL dice? So much more exciting.
I do, but they're metal and they make a lot of noise. So, just so I can show you guys, because I don't think you will believe this
Well,
otherwise.
You don't need. I trust you entirely. There. However, you can roll on stream if you so choose.
No, it's just I already rolled, so I'm just showing now what I
Natural
got.
20. All right. You see Gerald instantly collapse after wearing this mask to the floor, and then suddenly you like a breath back into life. Gerald, you are alive at 1 hit point. He just seems incredibly weak and damaged.
Just a thunk. I'm alive.
Oh,
Was that supposed to happen?
I don't fucking know.
And he's like, "Oh, he does not like visitors. Whoo, he does not like visitors."
Who's he?
Well, you know that Jester fellow that you talked about? Met him. Not a nice guy. Tried to kill me, I think, with red laser beams of death.
How do you know it's him?
Well, isn't the story of him? And he said a succubus. I know there's 2 types. There's a succubus, and then there's the other one that's male versions.
Right, but how do you know it's the Jester?
Well, he had the exact same mask on. And plus...
As who?
Look, well, as the guy, the Jester that he spoke of. The performer.
All right, I don't know why you'd assume for certain that it's the same figure, but
Well, let me put it this way. When someone has glowing red eyes, the entire environment changes in a jiffy. Laser beams you... Well, sorry. Magic missiles beam you, whatever that is, to death. I would think that is him.
all right, I'll accept that one.
Do you want to put
Fair.
it on?
No.
You sit up and you notice the mask has not fallen off your face.
And he's like... As he's like about to hand him, like, wait a minute. And you like pat his face. Can I take it off?
You can. You go to take off the mask, and you feel it stretching the skin as you do.
He stops.
Like someone like glued it to your face.
It's like, oh, first of all, that's hurt. And who put pig's oil in this thing? And it's like, just looking around, like, really funny joke, really funny.
Gerald, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're hideous.
He kind of just spreads his arms wide open. Do it.
You feel that you could take this mask off. You feel the pull around the edges of your face where the mask is. You just think it would be a painful process to remove.
And it's like, well, okay. So it's not stuck to my face, but it really fucking hurts. Well, you know what they say about band-aids? And he just yoinks it off.
All right. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no, I'm gonna be screaming at it. This is gonna hurt. That's a 14, a straight, because I have 0.
All right, roll me a d100.
This is gonna fuck me. Why did I have to become testing dummy? I regret my decisions. 98.
98. All right. Man, you really don't like yourself. All right. So, as you rip this, you just like scream out in agony as ripping this off. You can see And in fact, Jadir, you see as he tears his mask off his face, kind of red tendrils have kind of dug into his flesh, and as he pulls it out, you can see kind of these very small, wormy, vine-like things retreat back into the mask. You have like this very like thin line of puncture marks around your face in kind of the shape of the outline of the mask. And as you tear this mask out, just like this like shrill kind of pain in your mind suddenly, and you fall unconscious again for 1 minute. You are unconscious, and there is nothing you can do to wake up. So he just ripped this mask off. You see the tendrils kind of retreating back into the mask, and Gerald falls unconscious again. He is breathing, though.
All right, so Jadir would just kind of make sure that he is breathing, kind of poking the mask with like a piece of furniture or something, like a broom that's lying around.
Oh, how exciting.
Away from Gerald.
Let's put that back in his bag. I don't know. I'm just as unfamiliar with this as you are. And he just like, it looks like Franchester's face is just filled with glee and excitement.
Are they going to put the mask back
He's like, do you want to put it back on?
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Rips it off.
I'm quite sure. Unless he wants to, I'm not sure.
Well, he can't say no if he's unconscious. That's what my uncle always told me.
You know what? As a player, I would love this. As Gerald, I would hate this.
Wait, I can't really do that. No. No, I'll wait and see if he wakes up.
You're no fun.
Oh my god.
Look, all of this is kind of new to me. I'm kind of freaked out, if I'm honest.
Fucking wakes up. I finally took it.
So, as we wait for him to wake up, how did you get into the business anyway?
That's a good question. Well, to be honest, I just came into existence one day, I think, and I felt like I had a purpose. I woke up one night in a bed in a house, this house, and I felt like I had a purpose. And that's basically what I've been doing since then.
Purpose?
To learn everything there is to know about demons and to do my thing.
No, I don't know.
Well, there are places in this cosmos that are difficult to reach from our plane. And he proceeds to kind of sit down and begin telling you about the planes. And in the middle of his conversation, he is interrupted as Gerald springs back to life with holes in his face. He's back! He's back! How was it?
Ow! Everything around here hurts.
Yeah, there's holes in your face.
In your face.
And it's like, oh, good to know. And as he says that, I'm popping one level. I'm popping a cure wounds.
Okay.
Second level. Oh my lord, his face. Oh my lord.
So, is that it? Are we done?
Oh,
Okay.
I thought we were trying to work out a bargain. This was just a fun side thing.
With the map.
I hope not. Do you want to put it on?
No.
Are you sure? Could be fun.
No, no, no. I've had enough of these shits.
You kind of holding it up, like moving it around in circles. You know you want to.
I really want to know, but I can't.
He kind of looked. No worries. I can heal you. The worst strategy is going to be the pain in your face. I can cure you if you want to try.
How can you be certain?
Well, look at me. I'm still alive. And
When you went down, did you see what came out of that thing?
No idea. I think I passed out before that.
All right. If I do it, this would be the third time. There's strength in numbers, I think. Would that sweeten the deal?
Sure, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, we could. And he's like,
I don't think there's
You
a
guys
little
can be
bit.
my test subjects as part of the bargain. Can I do other things to you?
and he just kind of looks. Okay. I put a pin on that one. Just because we don't know what the fuck. And plus, I just got holes in my face, so I'm not really. If you want, you can put this thing on. Then we know it's just for me. Or it's for. I really hope it's not just for me.
All right. So I'm terribly concerned. But I
Trust
think I
me.
must do it.
Trust me, I was as well. I'm just regretting it now.
All right. Well, you did it twice, and you seem to be all right. I think. I mean, you look wretched, and you have holes in your face.
I've healed some of them, and it kind of like because I used like a cure wound, so I healed.
Don't touch it. You'll get things inside.
I imagine like
just-
most
yeah,
of it has healed.
With the second level of cure wounds, kind of this light washes over you, and the holes kind of seal up into kind of like it's like they all instantly scab over and are beginning that healing process.
And it's like, it's healable. It's healable. Oh, thank God.
You have scabs all over your face.
Oh, don't worry. You can actually fix.
Don't pick them.
No. There's a way to fix that. Anyways,
All right. Franchester. This sweetens the deal, yes?
A little bit.
How much is a little bit?
Well, it's all relative.
Right, that's why I'm asking.
Well, I don't quite know all the terms that you're asking of me. You want to know how to get a demon a devil out of hell. You want to know what this thingy-majiggy is inside your body. Anything else?
I don't just want to know what it is, I want to get it out.
Right, you want to know what it is and get it out. That's extra.
Right. Yes, see what I mean about sweeten the pot.
Alright, here's my proposal. A demonologist, Franchester, as I would refer to myself. I can't help you with the group with Lieutenant Badul in the way. He can only come out... Well, I can only come out for very short periods of time. With the shape the monarchy is in now, and there's no way we can convince Lieutenant Badul to become a demonologist with me. We live two separate lives, but I will do what I can. For a price, of course. You help me, and I'll help you type thing. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I am the only person on the face of Alavar who can help you. That puts me in a very powerful bargaining position. Here's my price. You must ruin Lieutenant Badul's life. You must destroy it so completely that he doesn't know what to do anymore. You must crush his dreams, his ambitions, and his connections. I cannot reveal my existence to him, my mind's companion, until he is ready to follow my needs for him. And while he still has a life of his own, he will not listen to my needs. You do this for me, and I will help you.
All right, it sounds.
Also, you have to put the mask on.
Oh,
And he kind of just, as he says that, Gerald is like, wait, that's all? Yay, welcome to the morally great party.
all right, I can do that. Hey, the freaking mask. All right. Gerald,
Yes?
if I don't come back, you kill him as well.
No worries.
No! I reject that!
All right, you see, in this situation, you are not in a strong bargaining position.
And also, don't forget, I could just take the mask off him and put that on
We're
you.
both in strong bargaining positions.
Because that mask is a very lethal weapon and I could put it on your face.
Lethal, you didn't even die.
All
Trust
right,
me, I
so-
was close.
Gerald, I know nothing about these things. We just give this man our word, and what? There's a contract that's binding, and we respect his word. What?
Well, see, here's the thing. If he is a devil, he would offer us a contract, but...
I'm not a devil.
Yeah, but that way we generally just have to trust him on this one.
I am your humble servant.
Plus, we could always just put the mask on him.
I'll pass.
And it's just like, in all technicality, that would ruin certain lieutenant's life, so we would be sweetening the deal.
I think you'll have to do a bit of a better job. Perhaps when I said ruin his life, I was not clear enough. He needs to be nothing. You must reduce this man to nothing.
Oh, trust me.
But also, keep the house, please. I'd appreciate that. My hideout is down here, and also, if you could remove that stone thing, that would be nice.
I'll return the
Appreciate it.
And it's like,
All right.
so you want us to ruin his life, but not so badly that he loses it. So you want him to lose his job.
His job, his friends, his emotional contentness, his ambitions, his dreams. He already doesn't have a family.
What if I can do one better? What if I tell him that when you're in control is when
No. He's not. He doesn't know about me. He doesn't know about me. And he's not ready to know about me. Do not tell him. If you tell him anything about me, the deal's off.
He kind of pauses. Let me explain. He doesn't have to know, but when it is in that state, he is in nirvana, in peace, meaning you're in more control.
No, he's just unconscious. He does not exist. He wakes up later.
He kind of looks. Wait, so you don't have full control while he's sleeping?
Well, I mean, when he wakes up, I'll be here. Usually when the sun rises, I always leave my place a bit early and get in bed, ready for him to wake up.
He kind of.
So there's something you did to coax me out today and give me control. I can feel him farther back in my mind. It's kind of like as he's waking up, it's like an itch kind of crawling forward, and when it gets to the front, it's like a fuse going down on the dynamite. And when he's ready to wake up, it goes boom, and then I'm gone.
All right, let's put a pin. You're going to have to explain that to us, but anyways.
I just did.
Well, a
He
bit
doesn't
more.
really. I don't really need to know the inner workings of that man's mind. Really.
He kind of whispers toward Jadir, just, I think he has a thing for you.
I think he has a thing for Chianti. All right. Screw this all. Gerald, give me the mask. I'll put it on, and
Ooh.
we'll get to work ruining this man's life.
As he hands him it, it's like, look on the bright side, it either tries to kill you or does nothing.
I think there's probably a spectrum in between.
Most likely, but don't think about it.
I'll try not to.
Yeah.
And I put the mask on.
All right, you hold the mask in your hand. You take a deep breath, close your eyes. And you're moving it forward, and then you just you put it all the way on, and you brace yourself. Nothing's happening.
And he's like, "Oh, it's a thing. You're fine."
Gerald, am I all right? I think I'm dying.
And kind of looks.
I can't get it off.
And kind of looks at him, going like, "Oh no! I think you've lost both your legs."
My legs? I can still see my legs.
You're seeing.
I think I'm going blind.
Yes, your eyes, they're gone. I don't see them anymore. He's like clearly fucking.
You're like, yes, and your thighs have big markings in them of weasels.
And it's like, really, you could have done better than that.
Weasel thighs.
Yes, it's a common condition for aspiring demonologists.
I don't want weasels.
We got him.
And it's like, he really believed that.
I don't want weasel thighs.
I think Jadir is just chanting this like, I don't want weasel thighs.
Franchester is just like having a huge grin on his face. He's like loving it.
And it's like, he's like whispering,
Weasel thighs, weasel thighs, weasel thighs.
He kind of whispers to Franchester, like, how long should we keep him in the blind about this?
Until he checks.
Did you say something? I'm blind. I'm blind.
He's just like standing there with his eyes closed. He's just.
I just put the mask
He's
on.
like the fear was the fear was too great. You placeboed reality.
He kind of goes, oh my god, your brain is leaking out of your ears!
I think Jadir is just hyperventilating so much he just passes out. He's breathing so heavily, just
looks like the mask got him after all.
And it's like, well, on one side, the mask is no longer a lethal weapon of destruction. On the other half, it's a really good prank.
I think you would really need to play up those expectations in order for the prank to work, but it certainly worked this time. You should probably take the mask back.
Yeah, I shouldn't... Wait, I should leave it on him, or I should take it?
Well, I mean, I assume he took it off. Wait, did he?
I'm sprawled on the ground, passed out.
With the mask on?
It might have.
Yeah, when you hit the ground, the mask just kind of like tumbled off your face and it's landing like right next to your head.
And it's like, let me just picks it up, puts it in his bag. I'm going to have to buy him a drink for that one. I'm going to be pissed otherwise. Actually, scratch that. I think he's going to be pissed no matter what.
No, it wasn't you. It was the mask.
Oh, true. Yeah, it was a mask. I'll just see how long I can keep that one going.
Okay. At this point, Jadir, you kind of you wake up. You're like,
oh my god, I can see. Where's the mask? Is it in me? It's in me, isn't it?
We took it off you. No worries.
It's with your artifact. He's like pushing it into your bag, like he's like just stuffing it down into your bag. You absorbed it.
Gerald, please tell me he's kidding.
Well, and he kind of like does the really like, well, you see, how do I tell you this? Just looking very like...
Just tell me, all right?
Okay.
Please.
And it's like, okay, you have to promise me not to panic.
Look, I'm already panicking. Is it in me or not?
So, we might have made you into a devil.
That's it? I mean,
Well, see, here's the
you've
thing.
seen me.
You are the... Well, yes, that's one of the reasons. The artifact, the bloodline. The problem is, you're a devil that's not tied to the 9 realms, so you're going to die in about an hour.
Make a insight check for all of this.
Wait, I'm rolling lying then, right?
Yeah, I will roll. No, you roll with advantage because actually, no, he's. I would say he would try and use the help action to help you, but he's just so insane that it doesn't even amplify your lying abilities.
Let me just really quickly just show the result. Look at the green line on the deception.
Dude,
Well,
I can't.
rolled
That
a-
is way too small for me to see, but.
Okay, it says deception check.
Just-
Start. Natural 20 plus.
You roll another nat 20. Alright, so Gerald, Jadir, you believe that, I mean, unless you rolled, did you roll a natural 20?
I rolled a 13.
Yeah, so, it seems like everyone's being pretty honest with you. You're gonna die in about an hour.
I like how
Alright.
I'm wasting all my 20s on a fucking joke. Oh my fucking god.
Are you certain of this?
Yep!
It's either that or you go through 300 years of horrible pain before your body finally ties to the 9 hells.
All right, but sometimes when I'm close to death, I just don't. All right?
Well, that's the thing. If you don't die, this 300-year thing kicks in, and it's going to be like torture. I heard it from him himself.
Yeah! Torture!
All right. Well,
It's like, "Ah!" and he's like, "Ah, torture!
oh my god.
And he just kind of looked. If it's the torture one, it will start in about, and he kind of like.
10, 9, 8.
I want to just cast Maximilian's earthen grasp underneath this man and grasp him like with a shadowy claw emerges from the floor and just grabs a hold of this man.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.5, 1.25.
And it's like at this point where Gerald is like, look, as much as I wanted to maul him, he's still our information. You're not dying. We're just fucking with you.
1.125.
With that, I'll make the hand squeeze.
We're just
This is a lot of fun.
Just a break, bro.
And it's just like, well, he's certainly learning his bodily limit. Also, I'm buying you a drink for being a good sport and not killing me for that one.
It's 9. You know what? Fuck it.
It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
And it's like, I'm talking about later.
All right. I hate that mask. Where is the mask?
I put it in
Up
the
your
bag.
butt!
Nothing
Oh
to
my,
do.
it's not in me.
And he's like,
I hate both of you. Oh, God.
if it wasn't like completely deranged and it was actually if you as a player, I would have so given you a high five for that one.
I think Jadir is just gonna lie on the floor, just like, fuck.
But as you
We
said
gave
that,
him
he's
a
like,
greater appreciation for life. You're welcome.
Also, Weasel thighs? You really bought that this
Weasel thighs.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
weasel thighs?
Weasel thighs.
You actually bought that?
But what?
And he's like, oh, we're doing that one. All right. Anyway.
So you guys want the devil get out of hell thing, which I will tell you how to do, and you want this shard thingy inspected and or removed, which I can maybe help you with, but will not look at until you have freed me from Lieutenant Bodul. After this is done, I will do as you say. And no more.
All right. Seems simple enough.
Perfect. All right then. Anything else?
He just kind of looks at him and goes like, where do you think the biggest crowd around the town is, by the way? Like, that goes drinking during the night.
Oh, definitely at the tavern. You might have heard of it.
Oh, yeah, we've heard about it. I think we might pull a move later on that one.
Okay.
And he kind of like looks at Jadir. That should cheer you up, because we'll certainly leave with a fatter wallet from that one.
Well, we could.
He immediately.
Fatter wallet. Speaking of, I'd like to go through this house.
Sure.
See what I could learn about your friend.
Certainly. My soon-to-be slave.
He kind of looks at Jadir. You're definitely
I'm going
better
to ignore
at
that.
this.
Okay.
He's like, you're definitely better at this than I am. The most I can fuck with people is suggestion, charming, and other such things. Also,
No, I meant to ransack his home.
I'm assuming
Don't. You need to put things back. You need to put things back where they were, or he'll know you ransacked it.
All right.
We can't just have him waking up with a ransacked house. Then he'll ask too many questions. Do you understand?
All right. No ransacking his house then, but we can go through it for information.
Yeah.
Does he have a diary of any sort?
Honestly, I don't know. You'll have to do some looking. I don't really care about his personal life. I do my own thing. Speaking of which, if there's nothing else I can do for you, I have some business to get back to.
What's downstairs?
None of your business. Perhaps you'll find out once you've done your side of the bargain. Ta-ta! And he opens up the hatch, and he slides down the ladder Dark Souls style, pulling the hatch down with him. You hear a click.
Oh, he wasn't lying about that itch.
And he kind of
right,
like, you know, if we really just want to get the information, we could just lock him in there.
I don't think there's any need. Don't want to piss him off, but look, maybe there's something we can find out in his house. A starting place, if you will.
True. Also, when you really think about it, well, and he kind of looks around, he's going to be suspicious about the door no matter what we do.
You turn around, seeing just like the destroyed door.
And he's like, we could just flavor it that he got robbed. Someone knocked him out as he got home. And, you know, good knocking on the head, you tend to forget a couple of things. And then we arrived to the scene and made sure he was safe.
Well, there's a possibility people already saw us.
Well, you screamed quite loudly, "We're here to save you." And they heard the scream.
Right, but that was a while ago.
And he's like, Well, I don't know. We could also say that he had something that made him pass out, and we bravely went in to save him. But we had to knock down the door for it.
Right, let's not rob this man blind just yet.
Just yet.
Oh, right, I mean, we do plan to ruin his life. But to leave his house intact?
Yeah, that is true.
Does he have ownership of this house? Does he have outstanding loans? I want to find this out.
Well, you know what? Best way to begin is with a good old investigation. As he goes to the closest kind of writing desk or anything similar to where you would sit down and write.
Yeah, you kind of look through the rooms. You find a desk that looks to be this is a very finely made desk. It has you kind of see there's in the center of the desk there's kind of this large circle with the blue wyvern. I mean, it's not blue, but it was blue when you saw it. It's kind of like a carving of a wyvern kind of embedded into the front of this desk.
Well,
there's papers all over it.
I don't find anything because I got an 11 plus 1.
Well, on a 12, it's not that bad. And how long are you guys gonna spend here? You can spend an hour to instantly succeed on any check.
I mean, yeah, I would want to spend an hour to find out not only what I can find out about the man's finances and his sort of social commitments, but also to figure out if I see something like, does he keep a large store of alcohol? Does he have a secret sex dungeon? What does this guy...
He certainly has a secret dungeon.
Yeah.
He's currently in it.
Woohoo! Just muffled.
Succubus!
Oh yeah, Teresa! Just like that!
And it's really?
Just gonna work through that noise.
Whip me harder! And we're
that is far more vanilla than I thought that this man would be.
Yeah, and he's like, huh. We both look at each other. Huh, masochist. Not surprised.
Yes, I kind of want to go through it, and I don't want to make a mess.
Okay, so you kind of carefully go through all of his papers. You find some general papers around taxes. You can see that just generally kind of looking at all the papers on his desk, financially, most of this man's, because he owns a lot of really nice things. He lives in a really nice place. This is all granted to him clearly by the king and queen. As kind of part of his deal for being such a well-regarded lieutenant. I'm very high up in the military. It's not like he has a very high income per se. He kind of looking around even further, kind of moving away from the desk, kind of going upstairs, rifling through various different places, drawers. You find a couple things. You see some records of him talking about dealing with slaves, keeping everything in check. A lot of kind of just general boring records. There's kind of he keeps track of soldiers, people who have died, a lot of the slaves who have died. There's large, long lists. One particular paper that catches your eye is a meeting in 3 days scheduled at the upper ring to discuss matters of importance with the council as well as the royal family.
Does he tell that to me, or?
I mean,
this is something you guys are doing together.
Yeah.
So
Does he own the house or not?
He does seem to own the house. He has he owns the deed to the house, but based on your knowledge of the kingdom, it's not like it couldn't be taken away from him.
Yeah. So I have an interesting proposition. So we simply just have to make him lose the job, right? Your skills with disguising is, well, quite good, if I may say so. So, what you could do is the next day, when
Hello?
back to
Is everything all right? You hear a voice coming from downstairs. Franchester, Franchester, are you okay? I heard quite a racket coming from here. It is I, Sir Francis. Are you okay?
What is the crazy guy saying? Telling that to us?
No.
I think Jadir would run downstairs. Says, Sir Francis.
What was your name again?
We met last night.
Yeah, I remember.
Jadir Casgrain.
Jadir Casgrain. Pleasure. Is Franchester all right? The door is broken off and
terribly ill.
Oh
Yes, we
no!
had to break our way into here as the man collapsed in the park. Had a terrible migraine. We're sort of taking care of him for now.
Roll a deception.
Are you good at this?
Yes, maybe.
Because okay. Crossing our finger
18.
here.
I'm rolling nothing but 18.
18?
Yes.
16 on insight. So he kind of looks at you, he's like, oh, well, I'm glad you're here to take care of him. I assume you guys have beautiful tunes to assuage his pain.
As he says that, he comes out. Oh, no worries. Our skillful performer.
Oh, Gerald!
And he's like, as he goes down, it's like,
Oh my god.
You again.
It's a pleasure. As always.
And he's like, oh, you flatter me, sir.
You're so good.
And he's like, will you be at my next performance? We're going to be in a bit of a...
Where?
So, we're going to be, hopefully, at the tavern.
Oh.
It's a bit of a rowdy place. It's a bit of a rowdy place, sadly, but we're having to go there simply because, I couldn't get a stage, and, we have to...
You couldn't get a stage? Oh my god.
It's because I know it's... But sadly...
Blasphemous!
I know, it is.
Well, we're very new in town.
Yes, so they didn't really know our skill set, so they didn't really allow us to, show our skills.
Who did this to you?
Ooh, well, I would not want to say any names.
No, I will make sure you can get in anywhere.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Well, that's quite all right. We've been very wrapped up in other matters. We're taking care of
Of
people.
course. Well, if you need to perform anywhere or need anything taken care of, I'm sure I can help.
You are an absolute hero.
You're very welcome, sir.
And he's like, please do allow me to shake your hand. You have been nothing but kind to us.
Of course. And he holds out his hand and elegantly gives you a beautiful handshake.
I do the same.
He's like, the tavern, you said?
Yes, we plan to perform there next time.
Roll persuasion.
He does not want to go there. Persuasion, I'm fairly good at. 19! I am wasting all my good rolls on this. It's 26!
He's like, well, normally I wouldn't do this, but for you, I'll be there.
And he's like, I'm so glad to have someone like you listening to our performance and watching us.
Of course. Take good care of Lieutenant Badul for me, would you?
Of course, I will.
Yes, Franchester wasn't feeling good, but he'll be up in a jiffy.
Wonderful. Well, I'll be on my way then. Ta-ta, gentlemen!
Farewell. Have a lovely day.
Tips his hat as he walks out the broken door, just leaning on the wall.
Oh my lord. We have a fan.
Does this man have any gold anywhere?
Yeah, you find some stashes of gold and jewelry.
All right. I will take 5 of the gold, and when we leave out, I would plan to hit up a carpenter to go get the repairs done for the door.
Okay. So you guys leaving the house to go find a carpenter?
Yeah. I think before we leave, I want to see if there's stores of food, and make him like porridge. Really milk this up.
Yeah, he has like a pantry and a basic kind of kitchen.
I want to like make him like soul cooked food and whatnot.
All right. Are you a chef?
I'm not.
All right. So for cooking check, let's roll nature, I guess. Dealing with natural substances.
I got a 4.
Nice. So you throw together some porridge.
Our
How hard can it be?
Doesn't smell
I
very
mean,
good.
I haven't seen. I've been in a kitchen in years. I've heard of this process.
All right, so you kind of go through making him some food. About like 2/3 of the way through your cooking, you hear the latch unbuckle, and Franchester's head pops out, and he's like, "What is that horrid smell? Ah! What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm busy, and you are stinking up my basement."
Oh, he's not back yet. Thank God.
Oh, you thought it was the fancy guy.
Yes, I
What,
did.
you really think I would leave him down there? I'm not an idiot.
No, I'm talking
He's
about
in the
fancy guy
basement.
that came in.
Stop what you're doing at once. Ka-chunk. Bum 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 bum.
I can't shut down. Are you okay? That can't be good on your hand.
No response.
I think he
I don't
died.
think we have to work hard to ruin this man's life. All right. Look, I'll be honest. I fucked this up. I don't think this is edible.
You look at the pit, or you look into the pot. It looks like someone just dumped water on a bunch of like matzo balls, and the matzo balls are frozen.
Yeah, he kind of looks. Well, you might be one of the best.
How did I manage this? I think.
He kind of looks at it. Jadir, don't take this wrong. You are probably one of the best, like, backstage influences. You can influence people's minds, trick people into believing you're someone else. But cooking, kind of looks back down, is not your forte.
Oh, all right. I have an idea. Let's go find a carpenter. And Jadir is going to take the pot, put it in like the nook of his arm, and just proceed to walk out of the house with the food with him.
All right. So you're kind of walking down the streets holding this pot. You get a couple strange looks, but no one seems to bother
give
you
them
about it.
polite nods. Yeah.
People
and
look
I'm
at you
trying to
and then
find
you
a
nod at them
carpenter.
and they give you like a slow nod back.
when I
In pest control, we're about to kill a couple of rats.
All right. So,
Because
When
honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, because honestly, like, no food should smell this badly. Only rats will eat this, so this is the only plausible example.
so you're able to find a carpenter who
Oh,
goes.
hold on, before we get to the carpenter, I'd like to duck into an alley and hide the pot, just in rubble or garbage,
You
anything.
hide this like rather nice pot under a pile of garbage, and walk away.
I can't have anybody find out about my shame.
You know, there's a thing.
Gerald, no one will find out.
You,
No one can ever know.
you could have just poured it out and washed it.
The shame, it sticks to it, right?
It's the
You
shame
cannot
sticks to
wash
the
it
pot.
And I just kind of look at him like, do you see this? Do you see? Look at it.
He
It'll
kinda
never come off.
He's like, I'd rather not look at it. It will be burnt into my retinas. Also, I can still smell it, and we're like a good way away from it. What?
Let's go find that
And
carpenter.
he's like holding his nose. What did you put in the thing?
I'm not quite sure anymore.
I think you might like summon a devil just from the smell, or raise the dead, or both. Honestly.
Let's hope neither.
2 days later. Rains! Hobo zombies.
All right, so you find a carpenter after you get rid of the pot of shame, and the carpenter goes off to inspect the door. He's, are you gonna go with like he's familiar? I assume you kind of just go in saying that you are on business for like Franchester.
Yeah, I kind of want to make the point that Franchester is not feeling well. We had to break into his house to make sure that he was okay, to give him a place to rest, whatever. But like, do not disturb him. He's not feeling well. Just take a look at the door. Here's it, and like, I want you to leave this finely written note on a table for him, where it's easy to find out. You'll find his desk. Just lay it on it, and I'll use our fine ink and scroll on like one of his bills of service or whatever, an explanation of the events that had happened, and that we have spent some amount of gold to make sure that he's well rested, that he was terribly ill when he was at the park.
All right. The carpenter says that he'll go off and bill the Franchester residents upon the door's restoration.
No, like I will give the gold that I took from the house to pay for the.
So
the
you lay the 5 gold down on the table, and he's like, "Well, I'll need to inspect the damage first and the type of wood, and before I can give you a quote."
How expensive is
Oh,
it?
well,
to fix
you
a
can leave a
door?
bill with me that I put down as 5 gold for the services, and if it exceeds it or lowers it, we'll be back to square everything away.
And he's like,
Rest assured,
"Very well. Can I get a name?"
Oh, I already wrote down.
Okay, you wrote down all of your information. He's
Yeah.
like, very well. And he goes off to go and fix the door.
How expensive is it to fix a door?
You don't know.
Probably not 5 gold, but I mean, it's
You buy so much.
fine
for that.
establishment.
The door was mahogany.
True. Okay. Fine. It was fine wood.
Was it rich mahogany?
It was a very nice mahogany.
Oh, no.
Oh, regretting breaking that door now, are we?
No, it was great.
You want to know what the sad thing is? I have +5 in sleight of hand, but I don't have lock picks.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is find somewhere to eat and discuss our plans.
Well, There's always the red swallow.
It's the singing swallow, by the way.
Hmm?
It's the singing swallow, by the way. The swallow just happens to also be red.
Ah, okay. There's the singing swallow.
I think we'll wander off and pick the first place we'll see.
All right.
No plan like no plan, as we go discuss our approach to make a plan.
I wonder if I can get away with performing in front of an establishment like that and get free food. We would gather a crowd.
I think we don't want a crowd as we're discussing on how we're going to ruin this person's life.
Oh, no. See, here's the thing. While we're doing that, I perform. Then we leave that area with free food and sit down somewhere else to eat.
Well, I was planning on brainstorming as we ate, but we'll have it your way then.
He kind of looks, well, certainly. Do you not want free food?
I'm quite eager to get to the bottom of this mask stuff.
All right. Paying for food, first time in a while. Well, I say first time in a while.
Alright, so you guys are kind of going down. Or sorry.
I'll treat you.
What?
I'll treat you.
Oh. He kind of looks, wait a minute. No ties attached? He kind of looks at you like, no strings?
No, it's a courtesy.
All right.
Look, money comes and goes.
That's fair.
It's meant to be spent.
It's just after the whole discussion we had in the house, I've been quite, like, kind of like feels, because I imagine at this point most of the, like, injuries and stuff like that are just disappeared, like healing magic, as it is. Like, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Well, they're not gone, but they've faded. The scabs have kind of faded, and you'd have to like look to see the kind of slightly darker colored skin, as it's still almost done healing.
Yeah. So it kind of like looks. Yes, strings. Been very much on my mind after that incident, as they were quite attached to my face. Apparently. But anyways, let's wander.
Yeah. So you guys
And
are. So yeah, you guys kind of going through the streets. The first place you guys kind of come across is called the Brimstone Grill. Yeah, it looks to be a kind of a rocky establishment. This is one of the original kind of Dragonborn constructions left downtown. Much of downtown has been kind of built upon and expanded by the humans who moved into the city.
I'm trying to fix the quality of the webcam, but
Your webcam's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. All right, I suppose we'd go inside and order something and have lunch.
Yeah, so you go in, very kind of gray stone walls. It's actually run by a dragonborn, and as you walk in, you see people kind of look at you. They kind of pass over you, but people in the tavern, or not the tavern, sorry, the restaurant, are almost exclusively dragonborn and a couple other minority races. Gerald is the only human in the restaurant.
Uh-oh. This does not bode well. As he walks in, he's like, oh, what a wonderful establishment. And I see him, like, as he says that, a lot of just, whoomp, everybody looking at him like,
No, people give you a look, but it's not like they're staring. They're all staring at you. They go back to whatever they're doing, whatever they're talking about.
Okay, so I'm not getting stabbed.
No.
Alright, so he's like, oh, what a wonderful establishment. What do you think they make here?
You can see kind of off in the back, the Dragonborn are using their breath weapons to kind of light the grills and sear different types of meat.
He kind of pokes at Judith. I do wonder if it does taste differently from normal fire. I've always thought about that, you know? Like, the breath of a person, really.
I think it might be kind of insensitive to ask that question.
Do you think?
I think so.
No, if you're just asking, like, oh, does your breath weapon change the taste in any way from a normal fire?
Right, but I think it lends itself to an awkward line of questioning, like, do you sometimes spit while you're doing this?
That is a curious thing. If they do spit, does it just vaporize, or does, what happens?
All right. We'll solve this mystery at a later date.
Just very normal questions, like, oh, never thought about that one.
Just remember, act natural.
Asking the bar to act natural.
Both of us are failing spectacularly.
You guys are just kind of standing awkwardly watching them roast things. One of the red dragonborns in the back kind of walks up, and looks at you, the tiefling kind of normally, and then kind of like carefully eyes Gerald. Can I get you something?
And it's like, are you sure I can't ask him? I really want to know.
He would like to know if you have any lunch specials.
We are serving grilled steak right now. He seems a little bit off.
And it's like,
And?
I'm going to have to ask him. I'm sorry. So, about the whole breathing fire thing, is it different from normal fire? I just really want to know. I'm so curious.
It's just fire, sir.
And he kind of, like, as he does that, is like, aw.
He's kind of looking at you.
Like,
You sense a great amount of uneasiness in his voice.
And it's like, oh, I meant no offense, by the way. No offense. I was just really curious.
Of course not. So, would you like something to eat?
Oh, I would love. So the steak you said, is that today's special?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you, dear chap.
It's
How much?
it's
And he's like,
one. He kind of looks down. And he's like, just 1 silver.
and he's like, that's fairly cheap. This looks really good.
So
Don't-
silver for
Don't worry about it.
You sure?
I'm sure.
And he's like, okay.
I think Judea would hand a gold piece.
Do you
and
Are you trying to be like obvious about it, or are you trying to kind of?
Just to not bring attention to it, but I
Yeah.
don't want to like palm
Okay.
it for the guy.
Okay.
I think he's just doing it casually.
Okay. You casually slip a gold piece over the counter, and he looks at you, and then he looks at, and he looks at Gerald, and he's like, "Thank you very much." And his attitude brightens as he graciously takes the gold piece from the counter. And he's like, "Yordle will be right up," and he walks into the back.
And he's like, this is a lovely place.
I'm pretty sure they were gonna spit in your food.
Trust me, it wouldn't be the first time.
How do you do that?
What, the fire and the spitting?
No, I assumed you
Oh.
were mentioning that people commonly spit in your food.
Oh, see, here's the thing. I am very much spoken for, and when I perform, a couple of lads tend to be a bit jealous, and I tend to get my food where they are. They're not nice. And the women are not either when I have to reject them.
Seems like a complicated and tiresome way to operate.
Trust me, it is. I have my own method even to this at this point. To be fair, I wish I
There
was.
must be easier ways to make gold.
Oh, trust me, there most likely are. But for my skill set, there isn't. So performing tends to be my favorite thing. Sometimes gathering a lot of crowd has its, disadvantages. But such is life. Not everybody can like you.
That is true, and most may not like our friend.
Well, that's up for him.
I do have a bit of a plan for that.
Oh?
Well, we can't just ruin him, have him lose his job and whatnot. He would likely lose his house as well. If he is hated and he has nothing, well, he would lose the house, and for our deal, he must maintain it.
Actually, he just said preferably to keep the house, if I remember right.
I don't think that is...
Did he say preferably because his thing was there?
Make an intelligence check. Let's see if you remember correctly.
All right. That's just a straight 1d20. 1d20. And okay, this feels that's enough. How? Okay.
What's the roll? What's the roll? Just tell me the roll.
20.
Are you serious?
I'm not sure.
Wait, is this Google thing rigged?
No, this is just literally on Google.
You actually rolled 3 nat 20s in a row. That is 1
And
in
one-
16,000? 1 in 20 to the third. That's 1 in
Yeah.
8,000.
And I rolled 1, and like I'm not fucking anything like.
Alright, I'll believe. Yeah. Well, anyway, he said exactly. He basically said my secret lair is underneath this house. So if I lose the house, having access to my lair will not be easy, and he would not want that.
Okay. He wouldn't want that, but it wasn't part of the deal.
He did not insist, I suppose.
Okay.
But you
right.
know that he would be very upset if he lost the deed to his house.
I don't think this... I suppose you could call him a person. This person, I don't think that they'd be... Well, they're not the sort I'd like to get into technicalities over.
That's fair. Oh yeah, I should stop sharing screen. Actually, should I just keep it for my next roll?
You can feel like it doesn't matter if your dice are loud. Like you can roll in real life. It's not a big deal.
Okay, I'll roll in real life.
Well, you don't need to roll anything now. But I was just saying, like, you don't need to. Well, I mean, I meant like if your dice were right in front of you, whatever's easier for you.
Yeah, it's just I think it's in the living room.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my screen next time I roll, so you can see that I'm not.
But I completely trust you guys don't need to bother doing that. I completely trust you guys.
I have never been this lucky, by the way.
Well, I'm glad you're using it for such an important situation.
I know, right?
I'm wasting all.
Remembering what the guy said.
Yeah. I can't fail this one.
I wasted 2 on pranks and 1 on just remembering what the guy said. Jesus, my luck is very biased on what I do.
So.
Alright, so. Here's my take. We want to ruin his life, make him lose everything that he holds dear, while still maintaining this house. So. He'll need allies of certain kind to help him secure his position. He can't lose what he has per se, but he can enjoy it. It can't be something that he derives any kind of joy out of. It can't be something that others will respect him for. They must know who he is and what he does, and they must hate him for it. In short, I propose we get him involved with my family.
And your family won't mind?
I'm sure they would appreciate a pawn.
All right. Well, you work your magic, and, well, such as you know, starting rumors is a bard's specialty. So if you want, I can spread the word.
That sounds incredibly useful, actually.
Yes. It's rare that people look in the Dungeons Master's book and actually find out there's an entire system for starting rumors.
Oh, all right. Well, we could start a muckraking campaign. I've never done anything of that nature.
Oh, trust me, it's very fun.
Could have a whole song and dance about it.
Oh, no, in this case, you don't need to sing or anything like that. You need to be so serious that the crowd feels the tensity in the air. You want them to take you seriously the entire moment. If you start dancing and being jolly, they'll all be like, oh, what an idiot. But as soon as you're super serious and talking about this in a serious tone, and especially when the bard is doing it, they're like, oh, this is dreadful. We must listen.
All right. If we get this man indebted to my family, he'll never get out. Ever.
We could lie to him about that he has a terminal disease or something. And only your family can fix it. Not to toot my own horn, but I can be quite deceptive.
The problem that I see right now is that I think the moment he's in any kind of problem, he'll run to the king and queen about it. So, we must engineer a problem that he cannot solve by going to the king and queen.
It can't be.
It must be something highly illegal. It must be something that the king and queen would find loathsome. So we must find out the most heinous thing that you could be guilty of in this part of town, or in this city, and believe that this man has this problem.
For a moment, Gerald laughed and like, I have an idea, but it's a really bad one. Well, you know diseases, right? You know diseases, right?
Sure.
Well, there's one type of disease that I have heard people talk about that you don't really openly admit to. And he kind of looks down and looks back up, and it's like, I wouldn't run to anyone if I had that.
I don't quite follow.
And he's like, oh, so
Here's your steak, by the way.
and it's like, oh, thank you. Oh, it smells wonderful. Thank you, kind gentlemen.
Yeah, you're very welcome. If there's anything you need, just let us know.
Thank you. So kind. I love the service here. We should come here often.
The Dragonborn walks away.
So anyways, as I was saying.
Does that chap not feel odd to you?
Oh, definitely, yes. But it's best to ignore them, generally. Because there's something that they don't like about me, I think. But as long as I ignore it, they'll just continue their way. So just big smiles, big happy smiles, and they'll let you be. Remember, everybody takes better to a happy smile than a frowning face.
I think Jadir would give you like this incredibly pointed, wide smile. It's a little bit unsettling because it's, on a tiefling.
Wait, should we repeat for it? Wait, did you hear what we said?
I have headphones.
Yeah. So it's like, he looks at it and goes, we're going to have to work on that. Also, we're trying to make them, enjoy the smile, not find your smile terrifying.
All right. You're saying something about a disease.
Well, so there are diseases in the world, of course, we know it. I know it simply because in the circus, apparently one of the, what's it called? Freaks, you would say, apparently got this mushroom rot and grew like a mushroom person. He died like a couple of weeks later.
All right.
Fortunately.
So, why would this be a problem?
Well, see, because there's also, and he kind of like leans in, there's also diseases for the nether region.
All right, but he would just go to a doctor.
Well, let me put
My
it this
point.
way. If it's cursed as well, a cursed disease, would you really want to go anywhere? I don't know.
Possibly not, but I was thinking that perhaps there is a religion in here. Something incredibly blasphemous or acts against the king and queen. If people believe that he is guilty of treasonous thoughts, he can't solve those issues with tattling.
He kind of looks at him for a moment and goes like, I would like to remind you of both our current situations. Do you really want to get religion involved in this one?
Yes, that sounds like a direct way to solve this problem.
And it's like, have you ever been close to a church with that thing?
Yes.
Okay, so not a devil being, that's nice to know, or anything like that. So, alright, do they have any way to see what is in you?
I've made the point of not knocking on that door, if you catch my drift.
Well, yes, that's my concern. If we're going to be, well, shaking hands with bishops, priests...
No. You misunderstand. We only need to make the gentleman believe that others are thinking that he's guilty of blasphemous things.
And then how do we know what is blasphemous around here? Not like we can ask about it.
Well, I'm sure they have laws.
Well, here's an interesting way. I don't have actually. He kind of like thinks about the mask. Scratch that. We're both in a bit of a conundrum here.
Look, if it comes to it, we can just simply attend a holy place and ask what people think of local worship and see if we can hear rumors that the royal family is engaged in worship of whatever deity it is.
Actually,
Figure out something for this end.
we could
If we convince... Yes, go ahead.
we could act completely clueless about the religion. That would give them the full-on baby steps of the religion, and generally they put the blasphemies in that one.
Yes. Please, I don't want to insult this god. Please tell me, what should I definitely never ever do?
And it's perfect for me, because I'm a bard. Some of us tell a lot of jokes. There's a certain college that I don't really like. I don't know if you've known about them, but I do remember their College of Satire or something. Not lovely people. They make their living making fun of others. I do not recommend keeping one in a party.
Led by Leafy's here.
I do think that sounds like quite a bit of fun. But in any case, we could, if we get this man convinced that he is suspected by others of blasphemous things, then he would have no one else to turn to solve this issue.
That is true. But it has to be to the point where he has to have done it unconscious. Because he would never do it himself.
Well, no. Think of it this way. He believes somebody else knows that he is guilty of this. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. He thinks somebody's spreading libel of him. But then if evidence turns up and things start looking dire for him, perhaps something is found in his home or his workplace.
But here's the thing, he would... It's just his reputation at that point.
Right, but if it's something incredibly serious, blasphemous, a high crime,
Yes,
he
but
would
he
have
would-
to hide evidence of this immediately.
And the best way to do that is make him believe that he is guilty of it. Because if he believes that he is accidentally guilty of it, he will come looking for your family. To
Well,
fix
we
it.
could spread rumors
Yeah. See, the
of
first
there
thing,
being a fixer of sorts.
we might have to get the other guy, other half to help us on this one. Or perhaps... And he kind of thinks for a moment. Do you think we could settle this? Because we're the only ones that have seen him while he went, quote-unquote, unconscious. And remember him running away?
The
don't
other
think-
guards did see him run away.
And that's not fairly normal, is it now?
Well, that's a good start. I have a number of ideas, but whether or not he believes that he is guilty is one thing. I think it would be better if he did, but it's possibly not necessary. If he thinks that getting involved with my family, that there's somebody in town that he could reach at a moment's notice that would make this problem go away immediately, and then he would do so.
Of course. And
Once he's made the plunge, there's no way out.
I have a very good idea. How convincing are you?
Occasionally quite convincing.
All right, we might have to switch roles. So what we can do, right, is one of us goes back to once he's become his normal self, right? And we tell him the entire story of how he ran. But then we spice it up a bit, saying that once he laid on the bed, he started twitching, becoming somewhat erratic. And we could even fluff it that there was a devil's face on his face, making it seem like he's horribly possessed.
Well, before we start spicing things up, we have to find out what's considered atrocious around these parts.
I think having a devil inside you is quite atrocious.
Possibly, possibly not.
I'm not going to the church to ask, oh, do you think devils are evil?
Well, you can go to the church and ask what is terribly evil and terribly wrong.
That's
And
true.
we must make sure that the royal family upholds this religion as well. If it is not religion, then perhaps it's local customs, laws, something that they hold dear.
Yeah, and perhaps we could even spice it that he is fully formed. The devil has taken over his body. And that way,
It could be.
and the only thing that he could believe then is that maybe your family has the solution to get rid of it. Somewhat that no other religion can, because most religion would just have you kill the person. Because, that said person has been tainted. Or at least the few things that I know of.
Well, it could be that while he was possibly possessed or in some other way afflicted, he performed terrible acts.
A sacrifice?
We must just make him believe that he's committed these things.
You know what the worst thing is going to be? We're going to have to go during the night when the other one is involved. And during this time, one of us is going to have to actually draw... Well, actually, we have a demonologist. We just ask him to write us a thing, and then we just splatter pig blood all over the place.
No, I can get a convincing thing going quite quickly.
And he looks at you going like, you're not going to stab yourself, are you?
No, not me. Ugh.
And it's like, well, so it seems like we have a plan.
Alright, so step one, figure out something terribly atrocious that is commonly held in here. Either religious beliefs or laws. Step two, make the gentleman think that he has committed these terrible things. Actually, no, step 2 would be spread rumors that there are members of the Shadows from the Telswarm operating in the city. No, scratch that. I must get in contact with my family, for real, and get them over here.
Yes. Now,
Yes. No, they would actually go along with this. If they could have a pawn close to the king and queen, they would do so.
Now, here's the problem, though. Then we have to keep him in the black until they arrive.
Well, I don't think that's going to be a big problem in the few days that would take them to get here.
So, then the question is, are we going to do the act...
David, you're muted.
Oh. He's still muted.
All right, so...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Finally unmuted.
Do your thing.
all right. Scratch that. Step one. We figure out something terribly wrong in the city. Step 2.
Second.
Right. We invite my family to come over, pitch them the idea of acquiring a pawn to be used that is close to the king and queen in Barad Baisa. They would accept.
Now, concerning how much do you trust your family?
Not at all, but I trust them to be selfish.
And do you trust them? Actually, yes, we both have no power. We're just travelers.
Well,
So
I wouldn't
they would
say
have-
that, but in any case,
Well, I mean in the
What?
case of they don't have any need to blackmail us. Because...
Judea just smiles nervously.
And he looks at them going like, all right, let me put it this way. If we bring them here and they know that we're in on this, of the whole ruining his life, they could very easily turn that once dear lieutenant here, if he gets in power, they could use that to blackmail us if later on we do something successful here.
I doubt that they would, but possibly they could. Look, my family will probably not act against me, I think. It's
On the worst
complicated.
case, and he kind of goes, in the worst case, how do you feel about stabbing family? And he says that like
Stabbing
kind of
who?
with a joking smile. He says that with a joking smile. How do you feel about stabbing a family member?
Depends on who and for why.
Well, if they're trying to blackmail us.
It depends on who and why.
And he's like, do you now see the problem that I'm seeing?
No, not really. I think this is a good solution to our problem. So, we invite them over, then, in the meantime, before they arrive, we spread rumors that they're operating in town. Doubtless my family won't like it, but we must get our man to know that options are available.
Yes. Now, I think the smartest thing would be that you deal with your family while I'll deal with other things like spreading rumors and such. Like getting that all ready. Since it's better that they know that we're not connected to this.
Who's they?
Your family.
I think they'll know that we're connected. I think they already have some idea.
And he's like, do they have some sort of a wizard there or something? Like that divination one?
You could say that.
Oh, that makes them so much worse to deal with. I must have loved the prank, though.
Jadir's like profoundly uncomfortable with this. Just like,
He's just like, well,
all right, so they'll arrive in town. Then we must convince our man that he is guilty of terrible misdeeds. that he needs the services of the Shadow. He needs a fixer, and he needs one urgently.
That is true.
Then he has no choice but to employ the services. And once that's done, he's done.
Now, here's the troubling thing. Next thing that we're going to have to decide, where do we spread these rumors? Because depending on where we spread them, some is easier. I can, A, spread it around normal populace, but the bad thing about that is, if I do that, they might start a mob. The troubling thing about rumors is you never know how people will take it.
Well, we have to start out small. I think I could take his disguise and, well, appear to be acting oddly. Lend some credit to your rumors that people would recall to these strange events that would cast suspicion on him. And, well, even the higher-ups have milkmaids and servants. Rumors spread to every corner of society.
That's exactly what I was thinking about, because we do have our dear friend Moneybags, as I like to refer to him, because I cannot remember his name.
Sir Francis.
Sir Francis, yeah. But yeah, we do have him, and he is seemingly willing to have a lot of chat with the both of us. A big old chat.
I think it's quite likely that we can use him in some way.
Well, let me put it this way. I just have to go for a friendly afternoon tea. All I do is talk.
Before we rope him in, I think we must figure out how we're going to use Sir Francis.
Well, think about it. He is one of the more, well, how do you say it? Not really noble status, but he's rich. And he has most likely a lot of connections to nobles. So, if there are nobles in this, I don't really know how the hierarchy works here. But talking to him and saying like, oh, I've heard this dreadful rumor, but I don't tell him to not spread it. Well, because, apparently he seems to, well, the effects of the idolizing and other such things seem to be really persistent and really strong on him. They're never really that persistent. I did have one time, though, where someone tried to just cut off my head because I was not allowed to sing for anyone but them. Yes, be careful on who you charm.
Who?
Oh, it was in the circus. I did my little charm thing, and my general routine was to charm someone that looked rich. I did so to a man that was wearing a hood, and, well, it turns out he was a psychopathic killer, and he wanted me for himself. And it was horrifying. 12 people died that day.
I see.
Yes. See, I can charm them, I don't control them.
I think Jadir's just standing there, like, completely just like, huh.
Yes. So, this is the funny thing. Have you ever heard of the tale of the bards and the dragons? Typical joke tale that people speak of.
No.
So there's this little tale where that I used to tell as a little joke, where the bard would charm charm a dragon. Now, usually I don't know if that's possible or not. Not really a dragon expert. But the bard was so legendary he charmed a dragon. Do you know what happened next to the bard?
I rolled to seduce the dragon.
No, and he's like, what happened next to the bard was he was eternally locked up in a cage in the dragon's treasure hoard.
Is this part of your personal history?
He kind of looks, do I look like I have any interactions with dragons?
Look, it's kind of difficult to tell. Earlier today, you put on a mask and weird red tendrils burrow themselves into your face. It's hard to tell what you get up to.
He kind of looks at him and goes like, That is a valid point. But
I mean, you do some dumb shit.
oh no, I don't do dumb shit. I do dumb shit and then regret it later on. Or I do dumb shit and I continue with it to make it a smart shit.
All right. I hope we're doing that now.
Yes, just keep doing the dumb thing until it works.
Do you have ideas on how we're gonna find out what's considered illegal or
Oh yes, I have to go
sacrilegious here?
He kind of looks at him, of course, and he kind of like puts out a performing act. I, a lost lamb, must go to church. Ah, I have so much to admit to the dear priest. I am but a lost lamb, ain't I? And he's like, oh, they'll, and he like then smiles and he's like, they'll eat it up like butter.
All right. Now, I confess I haven't quite entered a hallowed ground, like ever.
Well, see, here's the difference. You have the thing inside you. My thing just stabbed itself into my face, so it's most likely still the mask.
I don't know if I can. I just never. Look, let's just say I'm afraid that I'll burst into flames or something.
Oh, no, if I remember right, because I did read on this, the most that will happen is you walk in that and you hit a wall, and most likely end up with a broken nose.
I think I'll still leave this one up to you.
And it's like you don't want to
All
test
things
it.
the same.
Well, true, there are some that will burn you alive. Well, whatever fits you. I'll do that. In the meantime...
Burn, don't burn, whatever.
Well, see, you're talking to a bard that can heal himself, so... He's done dumb shit because he know he can just heal himself out of it.
I'll just put the mask on.
Yeah. He was like, that's why he was only concerned, if this thing kills me, kill him. Because I know I can just heal. But the only scars that he hasn't been able to heal are the burn marks. But yeah.
So yeah, what are you guys doing?
I am going to be a holy little angel and go to church.
All right.
In the meantime, while Gerald's doing that, I want to pop by the tavern and spread tales of the illustrious Gerald and his performance at
For the evening.
the
Yeah.
Swallow, and try to build up hype for him in the meantime.
All right, roll
And so
a
we're going to
roll
the tavern now,
performance
so-
for that.
Yeah.
This is while you're going to church.
You can roll performance or persuasion.
They're the same for me.
Yeah.
So I got a 15.
Yeah, people are getting, pretty excited. Some people even are like, well, I wasn't going to come back for dinner, but now it sounds like I have to. Such a legendary performer coming to town.
Then I crit fail on the performance. Well, to be fair, on a performance, even if I crit fail, I get an 8.
Yeah. So
You can only really critical succeed on and fail on attacks.
Yep. I kind of like to house rule that if you roll a nat 1 on a check, though, it's like a horrible fail. Unless you have like a plus like 15 or something crazy. But anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of while he's off in the tavern, you're kind of going through, looking around. You can see what looks to perhaps be a temple off in the distance, way off at the edge of town. So you're kind of coming from the direction of the park. You think you might see a temple off way further through downtown?
I'll just go to the one that's the closest.
Going through downtown, you don't see any religious sites at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, then I guess I have to head there.
So yeah, you're kind of going through the area. You pop out at the kind of edge of downtown, and you're back at that kind of square area with the statue, which has a horrible mustache painted onto it, and so you see this kind of like directly like in front of the town square area, this kind of very beautiful red structure with black pillars, very Greek style, supporting the building. Is just a beautiful construction. There's a full green area around the temple with red trees, trees with red leaves growing out of the ground, kind of like oaks with red leaves. You can hear kind of a lot of conversation happening from within the temple, and you see there are 2 human guards situated at the base of the steps.
So I approach one of the guards and I'm just like, "Oh, hello, I'm just a traveler here. To who is this church?"
They kind of look at each other like, "It's 3 silver to enter the bathhouse, sir."
"Oh, that's a bathhouse. Do you know where the church is? I'm trying to find the church."
Are you looking for the Dragonborn Temple?
Yes.
That's here. 3 silver.
He kind of looks at that and just goes, "Oh, I never thought of that." And he kind of like looks at him and he's just kind of, "Do you have any information that you can say, like tell me, without me having to pay 3 silver?"
What do you want to know? The guards are just kind of like casually leaning back against the wall. It's like clearly they don't really care about their job.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, so, this is a religious church, yes?"
I mean, it was.
And he kind of looks like, "Oh, so it's one of those situations. Do you guys not have any religion, like religious powers here?"
I mean, there's no dominant religion across where we came from.
And he's like, "Oh."
If you're into Dragonborn history, though, there's plenty of stuff about Yaradin, I think his name was. Some dragon god thing. I don't really care.
I see. That is most peculiar. By the way, I was recommended this bathhouse.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it is?
Dude, it looks like he kind of leans off to the side, and you can see inside. It's like this very, very nice bathhouse. You can see these pools of water that have come in. You can see towels that have been kind of hung across these beautiful statues of dragons.
He's like, I have. He's tempted. He's very tempted. And he's like, "No, I have to come later. When do you guys usually open?" Just because I am looking for like a church thing. I'm doing it for a friend. When does this place close?
About
and like he's
2 in the morning, maybe.
Okay, so opens. Is open till 2. Okay, that's.
Yeah.
And he kind of like looks. So just so it's any quicker, and he kind of looks at. That looks genuinely really nice. Do you know
right?
Any sort of church? Yeah, and he's like, "I know." Do you know, like, what is the most dominant religion here? Because I have to go. My friend asked me to find out stuff about it. He wants to get in, He's a religious fella from out of town,
If you're looking for big religion, I think you came to the city in the wrong era.
And he's like, "I'm going to have to tell my friend that. That is a real shame." And he kind of looks in.
I don't really care. Nah, religion's never been a big part of our culture, It's, life is easier without it. It causes a lot of squabbles between people, a lot of, unnecessary rules. It's not like we get too much out of it anyway. Very laid back.
I heard farmers are quite fond of Palador.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, some sun god.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes, well, you have been most helpful, and I will most likely see either your friends or you later because I am taking my friend to this place.
All right. Later, man.
See ya. Have a wonderful day. And he kind of like trots off. And then inwardly curses, God damn it, no churches, really? So while he's doing that, I now have to like find a way to spend time in a useful manner.
So, as you are kind of going back towards the tavern, you notice like there's a couple dragonborn being like on the streets. People just kind of generally treating them horribly. You see one dragonborn being kind of like beat up in an alley and like spit on. The culture is not very kind towards dragonborn people.
He kind of looks like around and just go. I imagine in this situation go like, yeah, I know, me too, fella, me too, buddy, me too, because this has happened to him as well. And it's like, well, sadly, only the strong survive, but can't really get involved, sadly.
A social Darwinist, I see.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
No, it's one of those things.
All
where,
right,
like,
then.
No, it's one of those things, like, it's horrible, right? But he's been in a similar spot. So he's just kind of a situation of, like, I help one, I might be able to help one, but, you know, I might potentially make his life even worse. You know?
I thought you were going to be like, oh, institutional slavery. What are you going to do?
The survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it's generally like, it's generally just, I can't help you. I'll either A, make your life worse, or A, make my life worse.
All right, so yeah, you make your way back. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe 4:30. You meet Jadir back up in the middle of town.
And he's like, well, this is certainly not a nice place. Have you seen how they treat the Dragonborn around here?
No, I've been talking about our lost little lamb.
Well, fun fact about your last little lamb, religion is almost non-existent here.
What?
Yes. I'm as surprised as you are. The only temple is a bathhouse. Also, I'm going to take you there later, because that looks wonderful.
All right, but if it's a temple, why didn't you go in?
Well, let me put it this way. There's nothing religious about it. It was just a bathhouse. They completely tore down all the religious stuff and just put a bathhouse up. And I don't think, and the one religion that is for the Dragonborn. I don't think our dear human friend is much into Dragonborn religion.
Nothing. They hold nothing sacrosanct.
To be fair, at this point, I think even if we put a devil in him, he'll be fine.
All right, so there must be a code of law. There must be a police box or whatnot.
Well, that's one of the things that I need to check. But I came back just to let you know, just so, things are at least clear. I might genuinely have to depend on our dear little fan.
No, I think it's quite all right, just for now. I think, people are genuinely excited for you for tonight. I think you've got a spot.
Like,
but we have some time before dinner time.
Sure. Well, I have one thing that we can do. Influence has power. Want to go rub some shoulders with some nobles?
Well, I don't think that's quite necessary for now. Plus, what I'm afraid is going to happen is that we get into that situation, we start talking, and one thing leads to another. We're invited to a dinner, and then you're late for your show.
Oh, definitely. But
yes.
then we can do even the better thing, where we invite them to our show. And we say, oh, we're sorry, we don't really have the finances, we don't have the reputation for... And our noble friends will be like, oh, that is... whatever that word is. I can't speak English right now. Preposterous?
Yes, there is a thing I must do tonight. Unfortunately, so if it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to do that possibly tomorrow.
All right, that is certainly fine. What are you going to be doing? I thought you would be drawing for the performance.
Well, I will be spending time in the audience, but I have to find out specific things about people who will be adoring you.
Well, that's fair. It's certainly fair. And he kind of like ponders for a moment. So, what I can do is I can get Sir Francis to, introduce me to one of his friends. And then so on. So you will not be connected to the whole politician struggle. I'll just be an entertainer that's rubbing shoulders.
Well, I suppose we could have that take place tomorrow morning or whenever Sir Francis... Well, he'll be at the show, right? I'm
And also,
supposing that...
You have to keep in mind, we don't have a time limit. There's no deadline. We can take our time with this.
Right, but I do... Sorry.
All right. But yeah, I'm generally just trying to think of a way.
You guys have so many strings you can pull on. I know you guys will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back. But he's like, of course, you need to remember, we don't have a deadline. We don't need to do it within a week or so. Of course, I think you'd prefer that. But it's better that we do a job well than get caught red-handed.
I agree, but I do think that it'll take some time for my family to be invited over, so there's certain prerequisites I have to fill before.
Oh, that's fair. I fully trust that you will be able to do what you need to do. And the question is, do we just want to rub shoulders with the nobles, or do we also want to gain something out of it? He kind of looks at you.
Well, we always want to get something out of it.
Well, see, here's the thing. I could completely forgo money and instead focus on power. The more they like us, the more they will want to do for us. And if all of them like us, well, then a single bard has quite power.
Let's not get greedy on this one.
Of course, I'm not being greedy. I'm simply saying how it works. And at that point, learning what is needed and stuff like that is not that hard.
All right, then I suppose I'll trust you to fully take care of whatever it is that you do.
Also, I will warn you, there is a chance that we will get into, political debate. And he kind of looks to the side. Just to the side, try to avoid their daughters. And he kind of looks awkward as like...
I think Jadir's kind of looking like, oh my god, it's the least favorite thing. Just biting his fist in frustration.
Why is he so frustrated?
I hate politics.
Yeah, and he's just like... and he's just like, so I'll deal with that. And he kind of sees you being like fully frustrated with that. It does mean I might be invited on lovely dinners.
Right, I can join you as your manager.
And he's like, well, certainly, you certainly look like a manager.
I do. I do.
I love how he's so enthusiastic about it. I do. Do you want a top hat to go with that? Look, go for the whole like swazzy.
It would have to have holes. My horns.
Well, we're going to be rubbing shoulders with nobles. I think that it's going
I'm just
to be.
gonna squeeze a top hat in the middle. It's gonna be scrunched.
I like how we're like just abusing the people like us.
I mean, that's what you guys do best.
Yeah. It's like, what are we going to do? You know what? Fuck it. Politics is the best chance we have here because we're both charisma characters.
Yeah. You know, this isn't necessarily a dungeon crawling campaign. You guys are in the city. You guys are charisma people. You can tackle
Also,
obstacles in your own way.
He kind of looks at you. Note to you, just so you know, if any of them have daughters, avoid them like the plague. Because if they fall for you, well, it becomes very... Rejecting a nobleman's daughter is never really... You know.
I don't.
Well, let me put it this way. They will feel insulted. They will feel betrayed. And, most likely, the wallet becomes, well, less for you and more for getting rid of you. Depending on the noble, of course.
I don't quite understand. I'll take your word for it.
Well, actually, you're not really betrothed to anyone. If you find a fancy noble lady that you do like, go ahead. Have fun. And he's just like, because trust me, we're going to be having fun with nobles. Just don't get too crazy.
The moment you say, like, there's fun with nobles, Jadir's pointed smile just droops, and he's like, oh. Oh.
Oh, not all of them are so bad.
They're all that bad.
And it just looks and like reminded of Franchester. Yeah, that is fair, but it's easy to, well, use them.
It depends.
Well, yeah, of course. But, you know, the more that they like you, the better you are in life, sadly.
All right. Well, we have a few hours. If we can't find religious things that people are bound to, surely laws exist.
Well, how do you say about this? You go check with the whole laws with the gods, ask them for a list of what cannot be done, like unique things that cannot be done here. You know, because I figure, you know, we know the basics: do not kill, do not steal, yada yada yada, no assault. Well, to be fair, apparently you can assault a dragonborn. A bit horrible, but... I know. This is a dastardly city. It's sad, but what can you do?
Well, we can do plenty of things.
Of course. But in our current situation, we can't do anything.
Alright, point taken. I suppose I'll talk to the law.
And I guess
It's surprisingly more comforting than talking to the clergy. This Chidi has this like internal moment, like, I never really thought about it that way.
Meanwhile, he's like, and I have to go find nobles. This is going to be fun.
Alright, shall we meet at the tavern? They're expecting you.
What time, Mr. Manager, if you may?
You know, I'm quite new to this gig. I didn't really get a time.
Just at evening?
Dinner time?
He kind of looks at you and just goes, well, all right, we'll try to arrive. See, if we arrive too early, there won't be enough people. If we arrive too late, too many people have left. This is the problem with that thing. But anyways, we'll just try to arrive around dinner time.
Look, when was the last time we were in front of the tavern. It was packed during that time, so if you show up during half an hour before then,
then we should be fine.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well, I'm off to the classy district, and you have fun with the guards.
Somehow, when you put it that way, it seems like you're getting the better end of the deal.
Do you want to talk to nobles?
I'm off to speak to the city.
It's like, wait, it sounds like you're back. Do you want to switch? No. Trust me, Gerald is not as fond of this as he seems to be. It's just more he's used to it.
All right. So, Jadir, where are you going?
First, I want to see if there's any kind of offices of law, like courts or sort of high offices. People were
there. It's not that hard.
Lawyers' offices.
Yeah, it's not that hard to find. There is a lower court, and kind of just looking around, asking around. There are two courts in the city. There is the upper court and the lower court. The upper court is in the upper ring, which is kind of that golden area with the great spires. That's kind of like the high court where the very fancy and upper, for very serious things, high crimes, treason are put there. The lower courts deal with a lot of kind of the regular stuff going on. It's where like 95% of the population gets their things tried, legal matters. Yeah.
All right. I kind of want to approach this matter as I am someone from out of town. Specifically, I came here because this is the shining city of Barad Baisa, and I am a novelist, and I want to document the worst of the shining city, like really get into the pulp of it. So I want to dig into the nasty sides, really figure out like what are the most heinous things in the current history of New Barad Baisa.
All right. So yeah, you kind of go into the court, you talk around, meet with different people, getting moments of people's time, and kind of as under the guise of your novelist, you get a couple things. So the nastiest place in the city is something called the Underground, which is located beneath kind of that cliffside. So there are entrances in the cliffside that go down into the underground beneath the upper ring. And that when you go down there is just a really nasty place. That's where kind of the worst of the worst is. And if you're looking for the dark side of the city, that would be the place to look. Is there any other specific questions?
Yeah, I meant more like, who are the notorious criminals executed for crimes? Do they have the death penalty? Like, what are the most terrible criminals, and what did they do to deserve such notoriety?
Yeah, well, you talk to some people, but there's also kind of a lot of documents on display in the walls, kind of in like kind of glass cases. Where it's kind of like both a history of the old laws of Barad Baisa under the rule of the Dragonborn, and then once it was taken by the people of Cassia, kind of the new laws. And like obviously there's kind of like the regular like don't kill people, don't steal things. They do have the death penalty. The worst crimes would be there's a couple things that stick out. There is identity theft, murder. There would be treason, which would be kind of betraying the crown. Freeing a slave against the will of the master, which would be kind of form of high theft, which is also punishable by death. and if the slave escapes, also full repayment to the master of the value of that slave, or replacement by, if you are unable to pay that fee, a member of your own family is now expected to become the slave of that person. And yeah, those are kind of the big ones.
All right. I suppose I start making my way to the tavern.
Okay.
And just to clarify, Badul's outfit that he's in charge of, is he like the foreman, but he's also like master of the slaves?
Yeah, so he manages the slaves under that belong to the crown, and when the crown wants to have something done using the slaves, Badul helps oversee that construction if there's nothing more important that he needs to attend to. But he's also one of the leaders of the military on the military council.
Okay, so when we found him in the construction site, who specifically was there? Was it just him, or were there other members of...
It was him and 5 other guards in military uniforms.
And how many Dragonborn were there with him?
There are about 10 Dragonborn with him.
All right. I will keep that in mind.
All right, Gerald. So he is just... So Jadir has just walked off to go investigate about legal matters. So
I walk off to the classy district to try to catch a couple of nobles' attentions.
okay.
AKA, I just went to the place where the richy rich go.
So
Because I look fairly fancy myself, I don't, stand out too much.
So as you are approaching the hill, you have to walk through the park to get to the hill, which is the intersection, and you see. What's your passive perception?
Low. If you want a number, it is 11.
11 is good enough.
Feels delightfully.
As long as it was like a 10. You see out of the corner of your eye a bunch of very well dressed people walking along the bridge going towards the upper ring. It looks to be a crowd of like perhaps about 20 individuals.
All right. And they went on a bridge passing something, right?
So the bridge goes from the park, which is the intersection, to the upper ring, which is elevated on top of the cliff. If you look at the map of Brad Baisa.
Yeah. It's in handouts. No, it's in world info. Where did you put the...
You have to click the link because the file was too big to upload as a raw picture.
Ah, there it is. Ah, yeah, there, yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so you see about 25 figures in like very fine outfits kind of walking up that way.
All right, and can anyone go on the bridge, or is this one of the situations, halt, you puny not noble?
It looks like just about anyone can go on the bridge.
Right.
Sorry, I had to... But yeah, it doesn't look like there's any guards at the bottom of the bridge.
All right, he goes on the bridge.
Okay, so you're kind of going around this. There's a beautiful kind of metallic bridge with kind of like golden things in it, and since the sun is kind of setting right now, you can behind the mountain. The sun sets faster than expected because It is at the base of this giant volcano, and the mountains kind of sprawling around the kingdom. So the sun has just kind of dipped down behind the mountains, and you're kind of shrouded in this very gentle orange haze as you follow these individuals up. You see, you're about like 2 or 3 minutes behind them, and you see them talking. They're stopped outside this kind of golden wall, which you can see like these very large golden spires sticking up out of. And they show, they each pull out a piece of paperwork showing to 4 very powerful looking guards at the end, who hold themselves up very much upright outside the gates, and one by one they enter. You notice Sir Francis is among these people.
Ooh.
Sir Francis is everywhere.
He is everywhere. I'm starting to think Sir Francis just has a bunch of clones everywhere running around. He's actually
I'm so suspicious of him now.
He's everywhere. He likes us, but he's everywhere. I kind of go like, "Oh, is that you, Sir Francis, that I see?" Like, kind of like up loud.
He kind of turns around. You're about like 100 feet behind me. He's like, "Gerald, what are you doing here?"
Oh, well, I kind of wanted to just go sightseeing since, the event at the tavern is until a bit later. And, it's
yes. About that, there was a meeting called between all the nobles, so I will be unable to attend your performance tonight. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. Such things happen. But yeah, it is a shame to see that you genuinely have to have paper. How do you get access to there to be able to perform and such?
Well, kind of looking around, the other people have kind of started to walk in through the gates. He's like, "But you must have special permission to enter the upper ring. I really must be getting it. This is a very important meeting. It was called by the king himself."
I understand. No worries. We can maybe have tea sometimes later.
Absolutely. I'll stop by my manor anytime.
I certainly will. And best of luck. And
Thank
he kind
you.
of waves.
Take care. And he kind of walks in, and the guards firmly close these beautiful golden gates, sealing off the upper ring.
And since he wants to squeeze a bit of information, he kind of goes, "Guards, are you allowed to talk, or are you one of those silent guards?"
We are allowed to talk, yes. Can we do something for
great.
you, sir?
And he kind of looks down. How deep does this thing go? I've never seen a bridge this high up.
Well, it's a bridge to the upper ring. What more is there?
Well, no, I'm like asking who made it and others. I'm just curious about like.
It was made by the Dragonborn, of course.
Oh, so it was the Dragonborn. Oh,
This whole city
thing
was
is
made
really-
by the Dragonborn.
Well, some of the buildings aren't, so excuse
True.
my confusion. I figured maybe at one point it got destroyed or something, and it kind of points at like the storms in the distance. You know.
This is not Cassia.
Yeah. But still, that is very impressive. Do you know who made it? Well, other than the Dragonborn, is there a specific Dragonborn that is like, that made it or something like that?
Would perhaps if you talk to a historian or check the library, I am unfamiliar with. Do any of you guys know who built this? You're like, no.
I love how everybody gets like super casual around Gerald, just like, "Oh yeah, I'm just asking general questions." And he's like, "Oh, that is a shame. But you guys get a wonderful sight being up here. Must be wonderful being able to guard this place."
Can we do something for you?
Oh, I'm just touristing.
Yeah, if you would like to have access to the upper ring, you must have a sealed pass from the lower courthouse to enter uninvited.
No worries. I am not trying to get in. I'm just sightseeing. eventually I have to go to the tavern and perform.
Best of luck at your performance. Enjoy
Oh, thank you.
the wall. It is a really nice, like, it's a beautiful golden silver ring going around. The golden gate has like another, just like the front gate, has this head of a golden dragon, which just based on your general experience, even just taking peeks inside the temple, this is clearly the holy symbol of whatever the Dragonborn worship. It's beautiful gold. Like, it kind of blows your mind that the kingdom has not stripped. Like, these walls are like made out of probably like 18 karat gold. Like,
holy shit! But as he goes like that and goes like, but quick question, just out of curiosity in general, like that, is like. Wait, sorry, I lost my train of thought there because I saw like you doing this and I was like, ah. But where was I? Oh yeah. Quick train of thought. Are the weathers always like around that? And also another thing, do you guys ever go to the tavern? I've yet to go there myself. I hear so many good things about it.
They're kind of, the guards are kind of looking at each other at this point, like, what the fuck is this guy still doing here? Like, we're not your bros.
He's not trying to talk to them. He's just
like, do you ever go to the tavern?
No, the tavern. I'm like going like, do you know about it? I'm trying to get information about it.
Yes, the tavern's in the middle of downtown.
Before I go to perform, because I've actually not been there yet, is there anything that I should know?
No, sir.
He kind of looks at the other guys. You are not very talkative. I figured you guys might be super bored around here, but he kind of like raises an eyebrow, but it generally seems like you guys don't enjoy talking. Well, anyways, since you guys seem very uncomfortable with having a conversation, I will respect that you don't enjoy talking, which is very sad, and I will leave. Like, just a low blow insult.
Just like, very passive aggressive. Good day, sir. Enjoy your life.
I love how you basically pulled off the equivalent of in New York. You just kind of walked up to a series of random cops and you were like, this is a very nice avenue. Who is this Lafayette person? I don't know, pal. Keep moving.